There we go. Welcome. New host, W host. We are here today. The panel presented by PrizePicks. Um, History was made last night. History
History
from
loss?
history.
Really?
Anytime someone hits a landmark like last night, that's history.
Yeah.
Um, Kevin Durant became the eighth player, I believe, of all time to score 30,000 career points in the NBA. Um, I want to just start before we even get into Kevin Durant's career and stuff. How big of a deal is it that Kevin Durant has now hit the 30,000 point landmark? I believe he's done it in the fewest games since Michael Jordan. I believe that's what I've seen. But how big of a deal is it? I'm gonna start with you, John. How big of a deal is it that Kevin Durant has hit this?
This is a huge deal, man. This is somebody in Kevin Durant who's one of the most versatile scorers the league has ever seen. By the way, missed 2 seasons in his career. So to be efficient throughout his entire career, to put up these type of points per game throughout his entire career, and be the mismatch problem that he was from year 1 to year 17, I believe. This is a huge deal. 30,000 points is not something that every player can come across, and Kevin Durant has finally did that. He's added himself to about 7 other players that are in the 30,000 club, I believe. So this is a huge deal. This is great for Kevin Durant.
Sure.
What is it? What's that? Bron, Malone,
James, Jordan,
Shaq,
Jabbar, Chamberlain,
Dirk.
Malone, Bryant, Dirk. I'm sorry, that was 8.
and Shaq, right?
No, Shaq is not a part of the 30,000.
I'll put it up. I'll put it up.
So it's James.
We have LeBron, Kareem, number 32, Kobe, MJ, Dirk, Wilt, Kevin Durant, and Dr. J if you include the ABA. Dr. J also has 30.
Okay. Yeah, that's just amazing. And I'm happy that it happened for KD because there's a lot of slander on his name just by making that move to the Warriors. And I'm a part of that group, but KD, as the scorer he is, as the assassin that he came into the league already being, he deserves a lot of love. So to be in this group, it's one of those things where it's undeniable. You know what I mean? You can't score 30,000 points and not be one of the greats. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying everybody run and put KD in your top 5 or your top 10. All I'm saying is the respect the scorer that Kevin Durant is, especially since he is a guy that has, in parts of his career really stepped up on the defensive end as well and showed that he's a complete player and not just a gun for hire. I think this is great for Kevin Durant, especially to do it like to John D. I think you made the point that he missed a couple seasons too. You know what I'm saying? So if we want to play that game, like how many points would KD have if he wouldn't have hurt it towards Achilles, and then what was it? Was his foot before that, or what was it?
Jones fracturing his foot in 2015.
You know what I'm saying? So when you take into account that stuff, it really brings to light the complete killer that KD is. Hey, shout out to him for that. I have forgot because I knew it had came up like a week or so ago how close he was, and then I was watching the game last night and he scored, and then the graphic came up on the bottom, because I was watching it at work, and so there's no sound on, and I was like, oh, damn, I forgot about that. So that was what's up, man. Shout out to KD.
So Ox, you just got finished talking about KD in terms of just him getting to 30,000 and the kind of people that we deal with on the regular, and a lot of these guys are young guys, so they don't remember KD from 2010. They don't know KD from 2013. They don't remember that KD. So what I implore you guys to do is go back and watch some film of KD just from about 2011 to about maybe 2016. Just go watch that KD. The KD that was in Golden State, I mean, don't get me wrong, he was great. But go watch some film of KD from 2011 to 2016. Just the bucket getter that he was. Like, you see KD today, a lot of the stuff that he's doing, it's on instinct, but it's on IQ too, because KD is so smart. He knows what spots to get to. He knows how to get to these spots. He's clearly slowing down because he's aged. But a lot of you guys don't remember who KD was and how he got to 30,000 points, how awesome he was getting downhill, how awesome he was one-on-one, squaring up on a guy and just lighting him up, the versatile scorer that he was, because he wasn't the same scorer in 2011 that he was in 2013 and then in 2016. His game had expanded tremendously. And to your point, Ox, when you talked about, let's see, James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Karl Malone, Dirk Nowitzki, Kobe Bryant. These are all bucket getters. These aren't guys who can score the basketball. These are all bucket getters. And KD is in that category with these guys. I'm just talking about a guy who just gets buckets. And I care about when a guy not only gets it, I care when he gets it. And KD elevated his game in the playoffs too. So he wasn't just a compiler, a guy who just got buckets when, in January. No, when the playoffs came, he also got buckets. When the finals came, he wasn't just on that Golden State Warriors team just tagging along. No, he was getting buckets, and he was getting buckets in a variety of ways. To get 30,000 points in your career, and I think KD, to Mars's point, I think he's going to play. I think he'll play another 2, maybe 3 more years. But for as long as he's in the league, I can't see KD not averaging 25 a game. I can't see it.
Right. We got to remember just. I know, like, we bringing up Warriors and whatnot. We got to remember that young Oklahoma City Thunder KD, the Seattle Supersonics KD. You know what I mean? That young KD when him and Jeff Green was out there going band for band with Carmelo. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, I used to love when KD would come. I mean, just come down in a fast break, pass it to him on like a secondary transition, boom, pulling up from deep, just killing. I mean, KD was so nasty, still is, obviously, but KD was so cold back in those days, man. I remember he used to hit that move. All right, it was one of my favorite moves. He'll come down baseline, he'll come down the full court, come to the baseline, hit that little step back, like retreat dribble, and then open up his hips. Double cross on the baseline, come through. Man, KD was so nasty with it. Like,
and I heard it a bunch of different times, Ox, from different players, defenders, guys who could defend, who talked about how disrespectful KD was as a bucket. He wasn't much of a talker. He'll talk a little bit, but just how disrespectful he was. I remember Vernon Maxwell said he almost got in a fight with Jordan, not because Jordan was scoring on him, but because he said to Jordan, "I ain't mad at you scoring on me. Just don't do that again." And that's who KD was. KD was that guy who'll hit a bucket on you like, nah, you're not gonna continuously embarrass me like that. And that's who KD was. And I think that because we see him today, the older guy who's still getting buckets, I think the emphasis should be more on how he got to this. And people forget how good KD was from 2011 to 2016, a guy who was really learning how to score. And once he figured it out, he was impossible. I put him in the same category with scorers. I put him in that impossible category where you have a guy who we just X out his production because we're not going to be able to slow him down. We'll just take, okay, he's going to give us 27. He's going to give us 29. Okay, how do we slow down these other guys? How do we get production in other areas to cancel this out? Because we're not going to be able to stop this. There's nothing we can do to stop this.
Yeah, I think a lot of what you guys said is interesting. I think it's relevant to point out that once you get past this landmark, a lot of people are on their last legs. They're not really performing at the highest level. Kevin Durant is still, I believe, averaging 27 points per game.
27 a game.
And he is 6th full time in points per game, period, in NBA history. Only behind MJ, Wilt, Elgin Baylor as the only retired players above him. Then you got Luka and Joel, who are still going, obviously. So that's why their numbers haven't come down. But KD is averaging 27.25 points per game in his career. He's also 7th full time in playoff points in total. So that definitely does translate to the playoffs. He's 15 points away from 5,000 in the postseason. So if they do make it this year, I'd expect that he would pass that. He also, if I want to find this real quick, he is also 4th full time in playoff points per game at 29.3. So his playoff points per game is higher than his regular season points per game. He is 4th full time, like I said. Sure. He's 3rd all time behind retired players, only behind MJ and Allen Iverson. Luka Doncic is also on that list, but he has not retired yet.
So he's number one active. So that means he's number one active.
Number one active player in playoff points.
Right.
Yeah. Well, second because Luka's number one, but second all time active. I also feel like when you talk about what KD was in OKC, I think it's relevant to point out that before Kevin Durant was 25, he had made the All-NBA first team. Before he was 26, he had made the All-NBA first team 5 times, and they were all consecutive from 2010 to 2014. That includes winning the scoring title 4 times in those 5 years. And the one time he didn't win it, I believe he lost it by like 0.2 points per game. So that's a 5-year run of basically leading the league in scoring every year, being all NBA first team every year, being the second best player in the world practically every year. And then he continued that after 2015, where he suffered the Jones fracture, came back slightly a different player, but still one of the best scorers in the NBA, then tore his Achilles, came back again and turned into maybe the best mid-range shooter we've ever seen. So Kevin Durant going through all he's gone through in his career and still hitting this landmark, I do think is a tremendous achievement. But what I want to bring this to is some super chats we have, and I do think they are quite interesting questions. The Trib one said KD is the best versatile scorer of all time, one of the best between Jordan, Shaq, Curry, and Jokic. I don't think he's throwing Shaq into the versatile category. I think he's just saying one of the best scorers, period.
Sure.
Those four are the best. But yeah, KD is in there. So I want to ask you guys, where does Kevin Durant rank as a scorer all time? Is he the best scorer, top 5, top 10? Where do you place KD?
I personally think he's the best. I think he's the greatest scorer of all time, in my opinion. Just being 7 foot, being able to put the ball on the floor, having that shot that you can go to in late game situations and playoff situations. There was a conversation you guys were having earlier this week where great players, when we get down the stretch of games and the game is close, they throw the system away. Kevin Durant is one of those type of players to where I know I'm going to be able to get to the shot, whether it's face-up game, my back to the basket, handling the ball, and it's so hard to contest to where he's going to get easy offense, play in and play out because of his length and how hard it is to contest his shot. So all of that ties into why I think he's the greatest scorer of all time.
Jordan is the best that I've ever seen as a bucket getter. His ability to get to the rim, finish at the rim, being able to manipulate defenses at the rim, how he lived in the mid-range, off the bounce, with the weak hand, with the strong hand, how he was able to finish at the rim also. And then, Mars, I think you brought up Kevin Durant as a free throw shooter, because a lot of people don't bring that up. Like, being able to make free throws matters. And I think that adds to the element of your scoring, because when you're able to make free throws, it's difficult to send a guy to the line. Very difficult to send a guy to the line. So that opens up your offensive arsenal even more, because I don't want to foul. But Jordan's the best that I've ever seen in terms of a bucket getter. James, I think James is second because of how he was able to expand his game and to add the long ball to his game and to add the mid-range to his game, in addition to him getting downhill and getting to the rim. But after that, I think it's KD, because KD, his ability to get to spots, and not only his ability to get to spots, his ability to manipulate the defense and be able to, as he aged, use his skill set and not just his athleticism to score the basketball in a variety of ways. It was just unmatched. I mean, we live in a copycat league. We live in a league where when you see something that works immediately, okay, I'm not going to be able to replicate that. So how can I get something like that? That's where Wemby shows up, and Paul George and guys like that Jason Tatum, the 6'8", 6'9" guy, because I want to play like that. I'm not going to be able to replicate I'm not going to be able to get KD, but I'm going to try to replicate that. So I think KD birthed a lot of great scorers in the game, but I have him third all time on the scoring list as a bucket getter.
Yeah, I think he's somewhere around 3. He's definitely top 5. Pushing top 5. I'm looking at the inability to stop you from doing whatever you want to us. You know what I mean? And KD's one of those dudes. He's up there, because I when we talk about just best scorers all time, I talk about Shaquille O'Neal just because of sheer dominance and like we can't do nothing with you. If he was a better free throw shooter, he'd be easily number 1, hands down. And I mean, you got Kareem, Jordan, Cole. But KD's in that conversation. I can't put a specific number on it, but he's top 5, if not top 3. So he could be number 1. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he gets to a spot, you can't do nothing with it but put your hand up and pray. So
yeah. I think I probably have it. Top 3 is probably where I feel most comfortable saying. I think the longevity of it plays a part, the unstoppability of it. The evolution of it, when he did lose his athleticism, when his handle is starting to regress, he's still able to get wherever he wants on the floor. I still think he's the best mid-range shooter ever. He's shooting like 82% from the line this year, and he missed some big ones last night. So I don't know what's going on with the free throw shooting. But generally speaking, elite free throw shooter. Can shoot from anywhere, get to the rim, finish with the best of them. Elite in transition. There's no holes in KD's scoring arsenal. And I think he might be the only player who that's true for. where there's no flaws. That doesn't mean he's the best ever, because I think you can have a flaw and still be better than someone without flaws. But I don't think there's anything Kevin Durant does below average as a scorer. There's nothing that you're like, oh, we'll live with that. That doesn't exist for Kevin Durant. You don't want him to try and put the ball in the hoop.
Mars, in your estimation, what's the weakest part of KD's scoring arsenal? Of all the things that he does as a bucket getter, what do you think is the weakest part of his game?
Pull up threes, probably threes off the dribble. That's probably the weakest part of his game, and he's good at it. But that's probably if I had to choose, what do I want KD to do? It would be shoot a bunch of pull up threes. I'm anywhere in the mid range. He's getting to that one dribble pull up. He's getting to the elbow. It's over. Turnaround jumpers over either shoulder. Now at this point, it's great. It's over. If he gets to the rim, it's over. If we foul him, it's over.
What do you think?
If he's catch and shoot threes, it's over. If he's coming off screens and getting threes, it's over.
Sure.
So if we got him dribbling, he's trying to hezzy pull up into threes.
You got a better chance.
I'll live with that.
That's I got a better chance.
That's the only thing I'd be willing to live with, I guess.
And with all of the stuff that KD does in terms of a scorer, what do you think what do you think the deadliest part of his game is as a scorer?
Mid-range face up.
That's where I think he's at, John. When he gets you 15, 17 feet away from the basket,
game is his
you
most
dead.
Deadly. Yeah, face-up game is his most deadly. Especially now. When he was younger, when he was younger, I would say it was his ability to get downhill that just opened up everything. But now, when teams know he's probably going to get to that 15-foot range and he's still going to shoot it, that face-up jumper, that one dribble pull-up, that's probably the best thing in his arsenal right now, and it might be the best thing like any player's ever had in that arsenal. He's shooting like 50% on mid-range jumpers. It's ridiculous.
See, that's what I think.
But
and to your point, Mars, that's where I think opened up his game. Like you said, the drive opened up his game. I feel like the face-up opened up his game, because now you got to crowd him 15 feet away from the basket. And people forget when KD was younger, how athletic and how fast he was, how his blow-by moves, where and don't forget, what is he, 6'10", 6'11"? It's one dribble to the rim. It's jab and go, and it's one dribble, and he's at the rim. You can't do anything with that. So now when you crowd, now you have to pick your poison. If I don't crowd him 17 feet away from the basket, he's just going to raise up, and he'll stick that all night, right? But if I do crowd him, it's jab, go, one dribble, and he's 6 feet away from the basket. He's 6'10", 6'11". He's jumping right over you because you can't get to it, because by the time he stops and pops, he's already in the air, and by the time you get your hand up, you're at his shoulder, and he shoots it so high that you can't get to it. KD was phenomenal as a bucket getter, man. It's not many guys that I can say.
He was great in transition. Just
amazing in transition.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And I know a lot of you guys hear us talk about me in particular. You hear me talk about KD and how I didn't like certain things that he did. I have to recognize, if I didn't, I'd be ridiculous in not recognizing how awesome this dude was as a bucket getter. When I think about great bucket getters, Miles, I'm thinking about, Adrian Dantley. I'm thinking about Jabbar. I'm thinking about Chamberlain, Bryant, Jordan, James Harden, Carmelo Anthony. When I think about great bucket getters, I think about, okay, what do you guys all have in common, and where's the separation? When I think about KD as a bucket getter, and I think about the flaws in his game, there aren't many. That's what separates him from a lot of these other guys as bucket getters, because he's 6'10", because he's 6'11", and how athletic and how fast he was. And even in transition, his handle, if you notice, and Mars, you had brought this to my attention, and I made it my business to start watching more. I watched KD when he was younger. I watched his handle. And KD didn't really do a lot with the ball. Like, it wasn't a throw the ball between your legs 2-3 times, throw the ball behind your back. No, it was more a purpose. I'm going to cross and then cross back, get to the spot. I'm going to throw the ball between my legs, stop, pull up. It was not, and people see guys handle like Kyrie Irving, and they'll see him throw the ball between his legs a number of different times, and okay, he's in his bag. I think KD is more effective when he's doing something with a purpose, and it's not just to do it.
Yeah. I feel like
I think that's most people. I think that's most people. But yeah, I think KD's handle, I think, has gotten worse as he's gotten older. A, because he just can't burst by people anymore.
Sure.
And B, he's just not getting as low as he used to for whatever reason that may be. But back when KD was younger and he was getting low, like it really was like,
excuse me,
I'll give you two moves. You either gonna bite on this hezzy. If you don't, we're gonna cross over, and then we can drive right. Or if you cut me off right, crossing back over left is a pull up. Like there's nothing really wasted with what Kevin Durant was doing because he knew where he was trying to go on the court and he knew he had a counter if you cut him off. And if you did cut him off, I'm not gonna lie. At the end of the day, I could just shoot over you if I feel like it. So like,
what do you call it? Does a play-in tournament? Does the play-in count as a postseason points?
No, it doesn't count as any points. Similar to the in-season tournament final.
Okay.
Game didn't exist.
So if he didn't play in
and scores 15, he won't hit 5,000.
Doesn't matter. Okay. But my thing is chill because you said earlier that you think he probably has 2 or 3 years left in him. KD got the type of game where he can kind of go like similar to kind of like an older Dirk, where he's kind of living off that like turnaround jumper. He can spot up for threes. Maybe get you on the block a little bit. Like KD has the size and touch and skill set where he can last for a while. I don't like if he sticks around long as Bron, it won't look like Bron. Bron's just dominating off of just strength, athleticism, and just being better and smarter than everybody. I think KD can kind of thrive off being taller, smoother, and more skilled than most players, and almost any player we've ever seen.
Sure, I could get with that logic, Ox, but you are the epitome of hoopers. Right, you are the epitome of a baller, and KD strikes me as that kind of guy. When I can't do what I used to be able to do at the level that I used to be able to do it, he won't cheat the game and just be out here just to get buckets. KD strikes me as that type of dude who, if I'm on the floor, if I can't bust your ass like I used to, I'm not going to play. But he also strikes me as the type of dude, really quickly, Ox, he also strikes me as that type of dude, like 5-6 years from now, 6-7 years from now, you might see KD at a pickup game in some gym with a bunch of dudes that's just balling. That would not surprise me because KD is that type of hooper.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be cheating the game at all. Like I think he'll be out there being productive and just, as long as he's not getting in the way, as long as he can add value to a team and he can, still play. It might not look the same, but I can't say what I think he would do, but I can assume that he can stick around and still be productive in the game. It's like how you said, like I'm the epitome of you a hooper, right? Like even for myself, you know what I'm saying? I'll still get out there and run around with the college kids, high school kids. It don't look nothing like it used to, but we still hooping, Yeah. So I think KD could be one of those guys where it's like, yeah, I'm still out here with the young fellas. I'm not, I'm not doing a lot of the same stuff, but like I said, like how Dirk used to catch the ball 15 feet and just, lean back on you, spin over here, bang. I'm still
it's coming too. And it's coming and you still can't stop it. It's coming. Yeah. That's exactly where he's going. What are KD's?
At least I hope so.
What are KD as a bucket getter? What are his signature moments for you guys? When you think about KD as a bucket getter, what are his signature moments?
One moment that I can remember from Kevin Durant, back-to-back finals in Game 3, pulling up on the Cleveland Cavaliers for 3 late in game.
Pull up 3, I said I'd live with, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, you did say you live with.
And then after he pulled up, it was in 2017. I think it was Game 3, and it was a close game. And Kevin Durant just pulled up right in LeBron's face, and he just looked at the camera. He was just like, "I'm like, oh my god, this is."
They swept when I was peaking.
Right? 5 games.
No,
18.
Yeah, it was 5 games. They swept in 18. This was when I was like a peaked out Kevin Durant hater. Like it was never on full display more than it was that season. And after that, I'm just like, you know what? I can't. Like, he's ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
That 2017 finals is one of the best finals performances
ever.
Yeah, I wanted to say ever, but
he was awesome.
Stop getting mad.
No, you're not, Mars. You're not lying. He was awesome in the 2017 finals. He was. He was awesome.
Because like in all actuality, if Kevin Durant never went to the Golden State Warriors and he was just like, okay, I'm going to be on OKC, he runs it back with OKC and they go against the Cavs the next year, and he puts on that same finals of performance, how many people are gassing it? How many people are?
No, I don't know, John D.
35 on 50, 40, 90.
But John D, the more and more you talk about Warriors KD and then bring up that series and everything, it's starting to make me get to the other side. I'm trying to keep it real positive with KD right now. And you bringing up that run, you bringing up the Warriors, it's really getting to me. It's good.
No, when it first like, so I had the longer time went along, I had to like realize, I'm like, okay, maybe I could just step back a little bit on the hate for KD because it's like you can't keep denying what he's out there doing. You just can't. Like, and I was like, because my friend was a KD fan. He was the biggest KD fan. So I'm like, I can't keep hating on what he's doing. Like, I'm never gonna say he's trash. Like, he was killing.
What I saw in 2017, right from the beginning of those finals, was and I ain't even talking about an overall player. I'm just talking about a guy who was a bucket getter. What I saw when I saw KD stand in front of James was that dude you saw 5 years ago in 2012. This ain't him. This a different dude standing in front of you.
Yeah, but chill. I also got Steph.
Oh
and
yeah,
Clay
I knew.
with me.
Yeah, I knew.
You know, it ain't like KD was just better than Bron at that point. That's not.
No, that's not. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that I might not be better than you, but I can tell you right now, that dude you saw 5 years ago, this ain't the dude standing in front of you. This is a different dude today.
And Bron felt the same way.
You're not gonna get the same dude.
The dude you seen 5 years ago ain't the same dude. I'm a new. I'm a new
Bron
too.
You
just got them two light skinned brothers with you now.
He just went home in 5 games. He could have felt different as
you brought your shooters with you. Okay.
I also think Kevin Durant is also 4th full time in finals points per game. And for anyone who's been in the finals more than twice, he's 3rd. Sorry, Rick Barry, we're just gonna pack you up real quick for the sake of the agenda. But even in the finals, he's been amazing. Like when he's been on the biggest stages, he's scored the ball at an amazing level. Even in 2012, I know they lost, but he scored the ball. I think he averaged 30 in that series. Iconic moments for KD. The pull-up threes definitely was the one I was gonna go to. 2017, they were down 2, I think, that put them up 1. 2018, I think they were up 3 with like less than a minute to go. He pulled up from like 30 feet. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that was the game where Steph Curry was so like they needed everything. KD gave them 43 that game, I think.
Yeah.
KD gave them everything they needed to win that game. Now, obviously, they were going to win the series, even if they lost game 3. They were going to win the series. I'm not saying, that saved them from potentially losing to the Cavs. No, they were going to win. But they definitely wouldn't have swept the Cavs if it weren't for KD. So he gets credit for that. 2017 as well, like I said.
Another one.
The game 5 against the Bucks. I mean, that whole game was iconic. Just everything he did in that game. I can't remember what he had, 49, I think. Missed a free throw to give himself 50. That shot in game 7 against the Bucks. I know his foot was on the line, and I know overtime wasn't great, but that shot itself was iconic.
Right.
Anything
he just felt like he just felt like a guy, especially when you got late in games, like something good was going to happen in terms of a bucket with KD. When we talking about during that time, like between like I'm gonna say like 14 to like 20 or 22, it just felt like something good was going to happen when he got the ball. Whether he got the ball in the mid range, whether he got it in the post, it just seemed like something good was going to happen every time he got it. Because he was that guy. One of my best friends, he calls KD the natural. That's what he calls him. That was his nickname for him. Yeah, he calls him the natural because it just looks effortless, his ability to score. So, I mean, 30,000 points. I mean, another one in the finals against the Raptors when he came back and he was just lighting them up from 3.
Oh, them 11 minutes.
Yes, for the few 13, minutes that he was on the floor. Everybody was like, "Yeah, bro, the Raptors are great and all, but we're forgetting if Kevin Durant's in that series, the Golden State Warriors are winning 3 straight." And Kevin Durant reminded everybody.
He was killing them with a straight that was the movement.
That made
he didn't
me
do
like,
nothing. He didn't do nothing but come up some pin downs and he was killing.
That was it, Mars. Wasn't a one-on-one, nothing. Just catch and go.
Yeah, I mean, but you could say the same thing if Kawhi doesn't get hurt in 17. Who knows if they win that one? So,
so there was something I wanted to talk to you about with Kawhi, but we'll bring it up. We'll bring it up after we got business to handle. But there was definitely some interesting things that I think you might want to see when it comes to Kawhi Leonard. I don't think you'd be very happy. But before we do what we need to do, I do want to just shout out some new members who have joined us today. We do have Sacred, who became a new member. Shout out to Sacred. Right. B Pierce Sports became a member. Shout out to B Pierce Sports. Teddy Hart, very well known member, I believe he's been a member like every month. He just doesn't keep the subscription going. So it's been multiple months though, Teddy. I'm gonna give you your credit where it's due. And then we have Philip Moore, who also became a member. Ox, over to you, my good man.
All right. As we know, This show today is brought to you by PrizePicks, the best place you can go to make your fantasy picks, your prop picks, whatever you call it. It's very simple. All you got to do is pick two different players from two different teams and put the desired amount. Play 5, get 50 back instantly if you use code PANEL. It's so easy, even an L host can do it. Look, today we have literally hundreds of games going on today, so you get to choose from all of them. We are going to be on the main stage today, so we are going to keep it between the Hawks and the Knicks. Hawks and Knicks. Fellas, are y'all ready to make your picks?
I'm absolutely ready. I'm absolutely ready.
Look, guys, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do, y'all. Watch the chat, because the first chat member to give their pick, they're going on the slip with us today. So hurry up, chat. Get it in first. Whoever gets it in first will get theirs.
That pick has to be from the Hawks game too?
Yeah, everybody got a pick from the Hawks game.
Okay. I'm going to keep my eye on the chat. You guys make your picks while I get the first one from the chat.
John D, you go first.
Anyway, I like Towns rebounds, but I also like Trey turnovers. So I'm gonna go Towns. What's his rebound? What's his rebound line looking like?
13.5 rebounds.
What's the demon?
15.5. 17.5. Wow. Okay.
I know you believe it. I know you believe it.
We're gonna give me the points, rebounds, and assists. I think Cat gonna have a big night tonight.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, never mind. Yeah, okay, good pick. We're good. He plays for the Knicks. I'm tripping.
Just so you know, John, he went for 40 last night, so you might want to.
Yeah, he gonna have back-to-back games. Good games.
Yeah, he went for 40 last night. So,
Well, the first one in the chat was Cat over, Cat more on rebounds, but you've taken
really.
That. So the second one came from this individual, who I will not name, but this individual, who said Trae Young more on the turnovers. So I believe that's what we're going.
All right, let's go. Trae Young more turnovers. Who? What? Oh, that was father.
Yeah, we'll say father. Yeah. Father.
Okay. Turnovers. Where's turnovers? 4.5. Damn, Trey.
You can go less on that. Oh wait, you can't go less on the block shots. Never mind.
People are just gonna give money away.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe. No, go ahead, Joe.
Can I take a look at Dyson Daniels' line?
Sir.
Oh,
we all got
it. It seems like
1.5 threes. Let's see, 1.5 threes, 5.5 rebounds. Points, rebounds. What kind of steals? What kind of steals do I have with Dyson Daniels?
2.5 with the demon of 4.5.
Oh my god!
No, I'm not doing that. Let's see, Ox. I'm gonna take Dyson Daniels. I'm gonna go more on the steals. I think I can get more than 2.5 steals.
Okay.
I'm taking Jalen Brunson points, by the way. Just putting that out there.
Okay. You want Jalen Brunson point? Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I was going to go. But
yeah, he had like 8 last night. I'm not.
Oh yeah.
I think this is the way to go, Morris. Personally, Jalen Brunson and 34.5. You want that or just a regular 26.5?
No, we going big or we going home. So we going big with it. He having 35 tonight. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
I see that Jalen Green less just right there, like it's teasing me, like it knows that I want that Jalen Green.
I think that's definitely gonna hit. That's definitely gonna hit because I think Jalen Brunson is tired of Trae Young coming to Madison Square and just cooking. Let me see. I'm gonna go with Josh Hart. 31.5 PRA. I believe he'll go over. I'm sorry, more.
And he just up 30 and 10.
Yeah, he did. And I think Josh Hart's the type of guy that's going to run with that momentum. So These are our prize picks today. We have Carl Anthony Towns going more than 42.5 PRA. Trae Young going over more, 4.5 turnovers. Dyson Daniels, 2.5 steals. We got him going more. The Demon pick, Jalen Brunson, more than 34.5 points. And Josh Hart, hopefully having another game like he had last night, more 31.5 PRA. Once again, y'all, this was brought to y'all by PrizePicks, a place where you can, if you in it for the love of the game, enjoy yourself, y'all. Use code PANEL.
I'm 2-0 on PrizePicks, by the way, with the few picks I've made. So let's make this 3-0. Make this 3-0.
Yeah, we don't talk about my record. Because you know what? I'm fine having a negative record. You know why? Because all my picks are Jalen Green less. So if I'm negative, that means Jalen Green scoring points. Win-win. It's fine.
It's win-win for Mars.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's absolutely wonderful to be wrong when you're wrong in a way that you would love to be wrong.
Ron stop keeping score as soon as I start cooking with DeMontis and OG. As soon as I start cooking with DeMontis and OG, he said,
"What a coincidence, Ox! What a coincidence, Ox!"
That's insane.
Before we just move on, I do want to read some super chats pertaining to Kevin Durant. Mo said, "Salute everyone, dub show, and KD is the greatest 7-foot scorer ever." We kind of asked this when I said where does KD rank as a scorer, but among 7-footers, so we're looking at Dirk, Shaq, Kareem, Wilt. They're really the only contenders for this, right? Like, no one else is really. Rank them 1 through 4, not just who's the best. Rank them 1 through 4. So Dirk, Shaq, no, that's 5. Dirk, Shaq, Kareem, Wilt, KD. Rank them.
Wait, who's the better player or just pure scorer?
No, just scoring. Who's the best scorer?
Okay,
1 through 5. Dirk, Shaq, Kareem, Wilt, and KD.
KD, Shaq, Dirk, Kareem, Wilt. That would be my 5 off the top of my head.
Dirk, Shaq. No, KD,
Shaq,
Dirk, Kareem, Wilt.
Yeah.
Interesting. Chill. Ox.
I already got KD ahead of Jabbar, so I'll go KD, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Dirk, Shaq.
Damn.
Do you dudes? I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate the dominance of Shaq. We all know how Shaq was around the basket, but can I remind you guys of how fucking awesome Dirk Nowitzki was as a bucket getter? You guys remember him? I just remember Dirk Nowitzki just getting one of them 8-foot leather couches and just parking it right in the 17-foot area and going, "This is where I live. This is where I get my mail. This is where I live."
Yeah,
and having a signature move.
Get it.
I feel you. I'm
all for the Dirk love. I'm all for the Dirk.
I'm fine
love.
with Dirk.
100%. I'm gonna go Kareem, Shaq, Dirk. And then I guess KD and Wilt, they're kind of a toss-up, I guess. Chill, I haven't seen enough Wilt. I've seen games, because I'm not. But yeah, Dirk. I think I got Dirk over KD. Yo, I'm sorry.
I think I got 10 minutes ago. KD might be top 3. Now you taking 3 7-footers over him?
He's top 3, top 5. I said he could be top 3, top 5. But I can't take him over Kareem. Can't take him over Shaq. Just based on dominance. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna go Kareem, Shaq, Dirk, KD, Wilt.
Damn. I'll probably go KD, Kareem, Shaq, Dirk, Wilt. That's probably what I'd go with. Maybe Kareem is number 1 and I'm just hating. Yeah, I probably am just hating. But I'm gonna keep hating. Yeah.
100%. I don't think you hate. I don't think you hate no more.
I think I might be hating. Kareem's ridiculous. I might be hating.
Right. But that I just know how good I know how good Jabbar was. And I know how good he was.
Jabbar was great.
Yeah, I know how good he was as a bucket getter. And what I appreciate about Jabbar the most was not just that he wasn't a one-trick pony. Let's be clear about that. But this one thing that I do know how to do, stop that and you stop me. Nobody can stop him. Like KD had counters for things, you know, KD and all of these guys had counters for things. Jabbar had this one thing that I'm great at. You stop, and I could do it with both hands. So I could do it with the right hand and with the left hand. I was good with both of them. You stop this, you stop me. Nobody could stop him.
And something that made it like extremely effective was when he got the ball wherever he was. It didn't like stick to him too long. You know, he would get the ball, he would make his decision, he would go up. His touch around the rim was great. So I think Jabbar was a great scorer, but I don't know, the versatility aspect. I like Kevin Durant a little bit more. I just like Kevin Durant a little bit more.
See, John, that's my
Who's arguing
thing,
that
John.
Jabbar's
I don't care. I don't care too much about the versatility of how you get buckets. You know what I mean? Like if the versatility of scoring, versatility doesn't really mean much to me if I'm so dominant. Like for Kareem and Shaq, I don't care if you can shoot a bunch of threes. I don't care about none of that. The only thing for Shaq is free throws. Free throws is the only downside for Shaq. But the sheer dominance of him and Kareem, I don't give a damn about any of the other stuff.
I could also say like Kevin Durant was extremely dominant in the mid range with his face up game, his off-ball catch and shoot, and it's like you could say like Shaq is dominant with his back to the basket and how he dominates around the rim, but Kevin Durant, once he gets the ball off the catch in the mid range, what more can you do once he gets that shot up and he's beating you to his spot already? Like there's not much you can do. So I don't know, when you have somebody that can stretch out from the 3-point line to the mid-range, also could blow by you in his earlier stages, that is just as dominant when you don't know how to really affect someone when they can beat you in so many different ways, because he knows where he wants to go. You don't know where you want to allow him to go. So it's like I think as a scorer, he's just as dominant.
Well, can I say the same thing about Jabbar? And I think KD is, I do think he's better, but can I say the same thing about Jabbar, where Jabbar is turning over that left shoulder? You know where you want him to go. You're going to sit on that left shoulder, but Jabbar is a lot stronger than people gave him credit for. He was a lot more athletic than people gave him credit for. And him going over that left shoulder and keeping the defense away from him was what made him so awesome and what made that move so awesome. Now, don't give me I feel like what KD did in his mid-range, I feel like it took a little bit more energy off the dribble. Jabbar, I don't really feel like, I feel like it was like on autopilot. I could just do this catch, go. Catch, like with KD in the mid-range, you got guys crowding you, you got guys in front of you. Once you put the ball on the floor, they can disrupt your rhythm. Jabbar, he got you on his back, one dribble, and he was up with it, and you couldn't get to it.
Swiper, and because you just joined, the question was among 7-foot scorers, rank them 1 through 5. So the players were KD, Dirk, Shaq, Wilt, and Kareem. Yes. So what would your order be? 1 through 5, just the scorers between KD, Dirk, Shaq, Wilt, and Kareem.
So we're pretending everyone's 7 foot, right?
For the sake of the conversation, sure.
Oh, I got you.
And you came in a little bit late, Swiper. So I said KD, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Dirk, Shaq.
KD, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Dirk. No.
I had Kevin Durant, Shaq, Dirk, Jabbar, Wilt.
I'm actually way more on board with what John D said. Yeah, 100%.
Ox said Jabbar,
Kareem, Shaq, Dirk, and Wilt. That's what he said. And
I said Shaq, Dirk, and you said what?
Kareem, Shaq, Dirk, Wilt.
Where's KD?
No, Kareem, Shaq, Dirk, KD, Wilt. That's the 5. That's what he said. And I said KD, Kareem, Shaq, Dirk, Wilt. That's what I said.
Okay, so the correct order is KD, it's Shaq, then it's so KD, Shaq, Dirk. We're just talking about like pure scoring, right?
Yes, bucket
like
getters.
Dirk,
putting the ball in the basket.
Dirk, Kareem, and then last is Wilt. 100%. Yeah.
Why is Shaq number 2 clearly?
I don't think there's
Kareem,
but it's like
well, I don't think. Well, here's the thing.
I like your, and what I do like, I like your. I like your Moses look. By the way, I do. I like your Moses look this morning. I can appreciate that.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I think that I'm good with putting Kareem. You know, I guess for me, because this is going to go back to this Dirk thing. You know, we're going to get back to this place, right? I think Dirk is probably one of the most underrated players of all time. Okay, that I love Dirk. I think people hate him because of one series. It happened in 2007. I legitimately think people forgot. Before that, he was one of the best playoff big man scorers we've ever seen in the league. And then after that, he was one of the best playoff big man scorers we've ever seen in the league. I think that the issue with Dirk is Dirk doesn't have the fan base to push propaganda like other fan bases do, because the Mavericks are very silent about him, because most of the Mavericks fans are Luka fans now because they weren't watching Dirk in 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then even after that. I think that if you just told me in a vacuum in a 16-game series, I would much rather be able to give the ball to Dirk, who's a better post scorer, by the way, than some of the players on this list. He was a better post scorer than these dudes at the Apex in the playoff because of what he could
not
get
a better
into.
post scorer than Jabal. That's not
So,
true. No,
because of the fact, but
No,
this
he
is
was not.
why. But this is why. I think that if you just ask me in a playoff setting, give me Dirk. I think that over
I do
both
like
I
shoulders,
Dirk,
just
though.
don't agree with what you're saying.
over both shoulders with Dirk, stepping out to the 3-point line, right at that nail. But that's the thing. Y'all look at posts so elementary.
Well,
You
brought up
that word.
You brought up the
That
post.
word. The post is not just on the blocks. Okay, that's for Chill's generation. The post works in this era all the way from nail in. So right from that place in, that's
No, it doesn't.
That's the post.
No,
area.
it doesn't.
So
So
when
you got the low post, mid post, and high post. That's
yes, exactly. It's literally called the high post, and then there's the mid post.
Understandable.
That's what I'm saying.
Still disagree.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So if you're telling me I got Dirk high nail area, I think I would be willing to bet you if we track that, Dirk scored more points per possession than any of those players did in the post in the playoffs at their apex. I'd be willing to bet that. I will be willing.
I'll put my money with some money.
Right. I'd be willing to.
I'll put my money with some.
And here's the thing.
I'm certain it.
No, you're lying.
Kareem. I'm certain it would have been. Kareem.
I think it'd be Shaq personally. But all right, if I'm being serious, y'all. Okay, I'll stop. Kevin Durant, I think, might be the best scorer ever. Like, who doesn't love Kevin Durant? Everybody, I'm sure you might not really have liked Kevin Durant back in the day, but Kevin Durant was the first
KD.
True transition engine where he didn't just rely on pure athleticism; it was skill. Remember, KD had that one move that nobody could stop. You know how LeBron Ox has that full speed spin, and then he turns into a dunker or lay.
The travel, yeah.
But it's Kevin Durant has that crossover.
You can't hop on one foot. It's a travel.
It's travel.
Kevin Durant will literally cross over left, pink, right, and you could not stop it at 7 feet. And he scored on that every single possession in transition that he tried it. I think KD clearly number 1 for me. I'll give Shaq number 2. I'll give Kareem number 3. I got Dirk number 4, and then I have Wilt number 5. I think Wilt's such an overrated scorer, respectfully. Like I don't respect Wilt's game relative to the other players at all. Relative to them, relative to these dudes, they're all better scorers than Wilt. They're all better scorers.
No, I agree with that, but I don't respect his game. Was crazy.
Relative to these other people, I think Chill is so lost, and maybe this is anti-Chill, by the way, too. I got my feelings mixed up now between Chill and Wilt. I think that like Wilt wasn't even considered. Honestly, like you wouldn't even take Wilt over Jerry West. Like you would not. You 100% would not. You 100% would not. Like literally, we watched them play in NBA Finals. Chill.
As a scorer?
Yes.
I've been said. I think Jerry West.
One of them was a literal Chill. Put your glasses back on, and this is what I'm saying. You don't actually care. You don't actually care about basketball. This is your fandom. Could you saw this happen when you were a child? Could you're not telling me that when you saw Jerry West play in those NBA Finals, he was the clear number 1 option. He was the best scorer in the playoffs in every year of his career, from the rookie year basically he got to the end of his prime. And then on top of that, Wilt was a great player, but his playoff scoring dropped damn near every year. He saw one man. But guess what? There wasn't no one man for Jerry West. The dude was averaging 30. Put Chill back on the screen. He was averaging damn near 37 points a game. In the playoffs and in the finals, no, because you're a points per game merchant. Because every time somebody brings something up, you're like, oh, well, Joker might be like, I saw the show yesterday. Joker might be having the best offensive season ever. He was doing this, and Wilt said, well, 1967, Wilt was averaging 50 points a game on 135 possessions a game, making just over the shoulder shots and just dunks. That's it. That's all he had to do.
So?
Whereas
So?
Jerry West,
So?
because that's the issue. Now Jerry West,
So
think,
Swap,
think,
you have
think.
to master.
We didn't have a 3-point line.
A jump hook. You're not just born with a jump hook, Swiper. You're not
No, but
born
I'm
with a
saying,
left
think
hand,
about
right
if Jerry
hand.
West
jump
had a
hook over the
3-point
corner.
line.
You
It wouldn't be a
can.
combo.
It's the same. But it's okay. Be that as it may, Swiper. You know, it's the same thing. To develop a rip through 1 count, 2 count pull up, to rip through 1 count cross pull up. To develop that is the same as developing right here 1 count.
No, Ox,
jump
hey,
hook.
Ox, I agree with you. That's why Shaq and Kareem are so
no, you
high.
don't. No, you don't.
No,
Swiper.
hold
That's why you don't.
on.
No, I'm not gonna hold on.
Let me
Because
talk to my friend. Let me
all
talk to
you
my
care
friend.
about is
Ox,
bink, snatch
No,
back,
that-
bink,
no,
bink.
I'm
That's what
saying
you
Jerry
always bring
West.
up. You
No, I
ever-
don't. No, I
you
don't. No, I don't. Because no.
100%.
Chill. You know why?
That's one of the-
Chill. You know why I know your line? No, chill. You know why I know your
So
line?
with that
You
being
know why I know
said,
your line? Because
when I
Joker
remember-
doesn't do any
when
of that. I
remember
think he's the
it,
best
I
scorer in the
really
league. So
100%
stop
can
it.
say
Stop
that
it.
about Joker.
Stop
You
it.
bring that
Joker
up all the time
doesn't
about
do
Joker.
bink. What are you talking
So
about?
with that being said, with that being
When have you
said,
seen Joker bink?
whenever I see Chamberlain, whenever I see Chamberlain, for example, in '69, when he only averaged 12 shots a game to Jerry West's 27 shots.
Why? Why was that?
27 shots
Why
a game.
was that?
Why
was that?
are we not going to the big guy more?
Why was that?
Why, exactly. Why? Why
They
are we going to the big
won.
guy?
They won because of Jerry West.
Just so you know that the Lakers lost that series. I don't know if you know that.
So one, so they won. They won twice. They won twice.
Did lose that. The Lakers did lose.
They won twice. Jerry won that series.
Just so you know,
Was he not the best player on that team?
He lost. I don't know
Was
if
he
you
not
know
the
this.
best player on that team?
No, he wasn't.
All right,
What are you talking about, Swiper? He was not. What are you talking about? No,
All right,
he
move
wasn't.
on. I'm sorry. I'm not debating 30-12-year-old Wilt Chamberlain versus prime Jerry West. Anyway, move on.
30-12.
I have a question. Chill,
Wait,
for
Swiper,
you.
Swiper, hold on, Swiper,
Go ahead.
hold on real quick. Hold that question for just a few seconds, because I got to talk to the people. Swiper, it looks like you're already eating, but if you're not like Swiper, you don't got the ability to make your own food. Maybe you don't got bars in the kitchen. Maybe you're just too lazy to walk to the kitchen and cook. Maybe you don't know how to meal prep. Maybe you don't know what's good for you. Well, I got the remedy for that. Go to Factor, y'all. Use code Players Choice 50 off, and you get 50% off your next order. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. Lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor Keto meals based on a randomized controlled clinical trial from Factor Keto. Results may vary. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfast, grab-and-go snacks, and more add-ons. Reach your goals this year with ingredients you can trust and convenience that can't be beat. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/playerschoice50 off. Use code PlayersChoice50 off to get 50%. I repeat, PlayersChoice50 off. Go to Factor Meals, and you can also be like Swiper, getting your grub on this early without having to go stand in the kitchen and slave over the stove for 3 hours. Use Factor. Once again, use code PlayersChoice50 off. Now, let's get back to it. Swiper, what's your question?
Chill. If I think Joker, by the way, I don't think there's really an argument. If I think Joker's the best scorer in the world, chill. He's averaging 30 on 67 true shooting, by the way. Just the most efficient 30-point scorer ever. Outside of Curry, obviously.
Okay.
Different kind of game. Why would you think I'm a bank merchant?
Because you've been a bink merchant. That's what you talk about when you talk about guys. Bink. That's one of the first things you say when you talk about guards. When you talk about forwards, bink. That's one of the first things.
I have seen you
actually
do
said that.
Yeah, your whole mellow over Paul Pierce is bink.
That's all it is. In fact,
that's aura farming. No, that's aura farming. That's what that is.
That is not aura farming. In fact, you've actually said that about Joker. Snatchback. You said that about Joker.
Snatchback.
Yes, you said that.
Remember when he hit that shot over Wemby in the Denver
you said that
game?
about
Him.
him.
His
That's
face
why.
up at the elbow.
Yes, you said that about him.
He had. Yeah, I remember that.
Aura farming aura farming,
I
or
don't even
is
know
this?
what- I don't even know what that
Is this
means,
aura?
aura
Is this
farming.
non? Is this
Aura
non
farming is just
MGO? Is
trying
this
to do
non
something that
MGO
makes you
farm
look like you got
aura?
aura.
What?
Is this
That sounds like-
organic aura?
Yeah. That's
Well, I think if you're aura farming, you already have an organic aura. You're just letting people bask in the aura.
Do you got free range aura, or is this caged aura?
Well, I'm free range. All my eggs are organic.
Okay, just making sure.
How
But
nice of you.
but the bink bink is crazy because swipe it like I said, bro. I feel like it's the same. You know what I'm saying? Once you when you're mastering a skill, it's the skill. I know it may look different, but a double cross, like a double cross or in and out crossover to a pull up is the same thing as me catching on the block, 1 count, spinning back over this shoulder, rip through, 1 count, spin, up and unders. It's all the same thing. So it's no, to me, it's like the bink bink isn't harder than the post work. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Oh, by the way,
it's
can I ask you a
just a matter
question?
of what you like, I guess. Who, me?
Well, are we done with this segment? Or can
Yeah,
Well,
I
no,
don't
I
know.
think-
Ask
I-
Mars. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the point, we have a lot of super chats, and I don't wait till the end because people pay good money, so they're going to get their questions answered.
sure.
But Teddy Hart actually asked a question that's relevant to this. So Ox has kind of given his answer, but I want to hear everyone's answer. He asked, "Do you guys value specialized scorers or versatile scorers if production is the same, like the KD versus Shaq, for example? Both can give you 30 plus whenever, but one is clearly more versatile, even though both are unstoppable." So Ox has said he doesn't really care for the versatility as long as you're getting the job done. If you can't be stopped, what do I need to be versatile for? But I want to ask everyone, what do you guys value more, versatility or specialization? And then how is versatility measured for you guys?
Okay, so I would measure versatility based off of what can you do if a defense takes your go-to thing away. So if a team, for say, takes away Kevin Durant's face-up mid-range game, he can now go to an off-ball type of play, catching and shooting, coming off pin downs, being a pick pop guy. That's what I level versatility as. If they take something away, can you still be effective with something else at the same level or near the same level? Now, when we look at somebody that's dominant in one aspect of offense and a guy that's dominant in multiple aspects of offense, I look at it as if you are going to get the best shot for yourself or a best shot for the opposing offense using that one thing, go ahead. I would value that slightly. But then again, if you have the versatility, I believe that gives you multiple avenues to keep the defense on its feet. I think if you're versatile and you're dominant in multiple aspects of offense, it keeps the defense guessing. It keeps the defense having to switch its game plan and switch its scheme to really like combat that. Go ahead.
How do you take Shaq away?
Put Ben
You
Wallace
signed
on him.
7 big men.
No, you
signed
put Ben
7
Wallace.
big men.
Put Ben Wallace on him. Tell the truth.
Or you put hey, shout out to Finn. You put Sabonis, you put RV Sabonis.
Look like that in 2004-5. Go ahead.
You put
I
RV.
mean, that was a Kobe problem.
Yeah,
Swiper.
that
It was,
definitely
it
did
was.
not take Shaq away. I can
Mm.
assure you that Ben Wallace did not stop Shaq from scoring. But even then, if that is the answer, so the answer for Shaq is one of the 10 best defenders ever. That's the answer.
Well, no, I think the answer is you can't because Shaq goes to the free throw line. If Shaq making his free throws that day, you're cooked. There was no stopping Shaq. It was either he missed his free throws or he made them. Now, Chill, when we argued in PC, brought up the 1 quarter Shaq made all of his free throws. So that game he was unstoppable. But the
1
Shaq,
quarter, I didn't argue 1 quarter.
if
'cause he's done
Shaq-
it, he's
if
done it
Shaq-
multiple times. He did
if
it in
Shaq
2000
if Shaq
against
made
the Trailblazers. He did it against the
if
Nets
Shaq
in the
that's
finals.
not the
So
finals.
it wasn't
That's
1
not,
quarter.
you said Trailblazers
So-
in the conference finals.
So again,
if
it was
Shaq
still the
made-
finals. So
if Shaq
anyway,
made all his free throws, yeah, if he made 70% of his free throws, you're cooked. Honestly,
you have no
you're cooked.
chance.
yeah, you're cooked.
no-
You're done. It's
okay.
done. It's over. He's getting 20 of them, and he's making 14. So it's over. What do you do with that?
What's your thoughts on versatility versus specialization? I guess which one's more valuable to you?
Guessing me.
It's definitely an interesting conversation. It's something I got to think on.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know how versatile jump shooters are. Like, what does that mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is Devin Booker a versatile scorer?
Yes.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, he is, but no. Like, relative to like LeBron's not as good of a jump shooter, but he can also get to more things than Devin Booker can. Respectfully, like I think Devin Booker's really good.
So who's the better scorer?
Define what you think.
LeBron.
Define what you think
Yeah.
versatility is, because when I think about versatility, before I say that, Swiper, define versatility. What do you think being a versatile scorer is to you in your estimation?
I think the most versatile scorer off the top of my head I can think about would have to be Okay, I don't want to cheat like LeBron, Kobe. Take all them out. Versatile score after that tier would probably be.
Go even lower. Go to like a third.
He want to stay Carmelo. That's what he wants to say.
No, well, he was, but I think Carmelo was,
That's
but
not.
he wasn't.
That's not organic.
Bro, I'm not gonna
Pierce
lie to you.
organic.
This goes into the whole thing yesterday on Twitter, Mars, that you were a part of. And I'm not gonna mention it here, but you know what you better do. I definitely saw you. You see me. You saw me see you. So see me back.
I saw you.
Wait,
see me.
Mars, is that what you were talking? Is that what you're talking about? Kawhi and Jason Tatum?
I think it's Kawhi. I think Kawhi.
I don't want to
Yeah.
get involved in that, Mars. I don't want to get involved.
I think Kawhi is one of the most versatile.
We don't want to talk about it, but it's just.
I think that 14 to 19 Kawhi is one of the most versatile scores ever. 100%.
14 to 19.
Because I think he got to the rim at a really high level.
Not 17 to 23.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like the Clippers series in the bubble, he fell off. I think 21's included. So include like 21.
But that didn't mean he became less versatile.
I know, but that was like that was such an anomaly for Kawhi. Like 4 points in back-to-back, like in 4 quarters. That's just not Kawhi. But 21, sure,
it happens.
And even 23, the first 2 games of that series, he was averaging 38 points a game. Like he's clearly better than Kevin Durant and them. So I would say Kawhi Leonard belongs in that conversation at his apex. I don't remember he was shooting 40% from 3 for a little bit. He was I was trying to explain this yesterday, but those fans hashtag they. Kawhi was making 49% of his mid-range shots in the 2016-17 season. He took 681 mid-range shots, I think, in total, and made 49% of them. Like
good, pretty damn good.
Yes. that's more than Kevin Durant by like 300 that year. So but he was a great rim finisher and he was a great 3-point shooter. Like that's a definition for me of a versatile scorer.
Also great in transition too.
Yeah.
And he could post you. And he can play on and off.
Does that make sense? That's like a good definition of a versatile scorer.
Just scoring from multiple areas.
3-point line, nail, post, mid-range. He was a good corner 3-point shooter. He was a good movement shooter as well at that point.
I don't think that I think that if you can recognize what defenses are going against you and how you can get buckets, I think that enhances your versatility. So if I got a smaller guy on me who's a good post defender, do I take him to the box or do I set him up by taking him a little bit further away from the box and softening him up a little bit more? If I got a big guy on me who is really good on the box, but he's not as physical, do I take him on the box and be more of a bruiser with him? Do I do that? So when I think about Shaq in terms of Shaq's versatility as a scorer, I think Shaq was very much a bruiser on the box. But I think Shaq also knew when he had a bigger guy on him, like if he got Mutombo on him, okay, I could rough Mutombo up, but I can also take Mutombo a little further away from the basket. He had that fall away, that 12 to 14 footer. That was money. He also had that mid post shot where he had a hook right over Mutombo. So when I feel like when a guy is more, I feel like a guy's versatility is enhanced by recognizing what the defense gives him, and not only what the defense gives him, how smart the defense is. And you can have a bunch of guys who are really good scorers, but they don't know how to score. And I've seen plenty of guys like that.
You know what I'm surprised by, Chill? I just looked up Shaq versus Arvidas because Arvidas came in the league. He first played against Shaq in '96. Shaq averaged 28 a game on him on 53% from the field, and I think that would have been like the ideal defender to deal with Shaq at that point, given how big he was. So that's what I'm saying. I just don't think people realize how like big Shaq was. Like Arvidas is huge. Like he's a monster of a man. Shaq was just even stronger than Arvidas.
But the thing with Shaq was more than just big. Like there's been big dudes. Shaq was mean, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of people don't understand. Like, bro,
he wanted to bully.
You can't match that size, aggression, and just like I said, bro. There's no other word for it. Shaq was mean. Like he wanted to hit you.
That part right there, Moss. Right there.
Shaq. What made Shaq special was not that he was just bigger than everyone. Like he was bigger,
faster, and more
agile. Yeah, and he had that "I want to bully you" mentality. Like Wilt spoke about it. He didn't want to be seen as that brute, so he tried to play with this finesse game, fadeaways, bank shots, all of that stuff. Shaq didn't care. Shaq was trying to put you through the rim. So when you put all of that in combination, I think that's why you end up with what Shaq.
Yeah,
was.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised, Chill, that you don't have Shaq above Wilt. Given like, I think if Shaq was in Wilt's era in the '60s, I think he would have been even better, right? But like, I
you
think,
get called for a lot of offensive fouls.
but I think the thing is Shaq was like, I mean, I think that was for everybody in their nostalgia. The '90s was the best big man era, like ever,
That's
and
a fact.
he
won't argue
walked
that.
everybody, walked David Robinson. Walked.
He did
Not
not
walk the
walk-
king.
He didn't
the Bible.
walk everybody.
Oh,
No, he
all right.
didn't walk everybody. That's not true.
None of them could guard him. We'll say that. None of them could
No,
guard him.
and he had trouble. He had trouble with them.
Well,
too.
Hakeem obviously gave him problems, but Hakeem gave him problems on the other end. Shaq couldn't guard Hakeem at all.
Yeah,
but I'm
that's
saying that like,
yeah,
but Hakeem, I think outside of Hakeem, he gave Duncan issues. He gave David Robinson issues. He gave Pat issues. He gave
Lonzo
Rick
Mourning
Smith,
problems.
Lonzo Mourning.
Rick Smiths.
Yeah,
You
Rick
can line them
Smith,
all
yeah.
up. Sure, you can definitely line them all up. But I feel like Shaq. I feel like Shaq's strong suit was, to your point, Moss, how mean he was, and how mean he was really enhanced the rest of the offense, because like nobody really wanted to get next to him when he was like that, when he was around the bucket, bullying and throwing guys through the basket. Nobody really wanted to get next to him and get close to him because they knew that
Sheesh.
it was violent. It was dangerous.
But how could you not be a Lakers fan at that point too? Like I was even like a Shaq fan. Like I mean, I wasn't
how
from
could you
Sacramento.
not be a bandwagon?
No, I'm saying like when in the cause remember I was a baby. Me, Ox and I, we were both kids. I'm saying that Ox, you were from Sacramento. I get you, but who like not liking Shaq and Kobe was almost impossible if you weren't like directly located to, because Shaq was everything that like you thought the NBA was supposed to be. Like he was a superstar. He was literally the walking definition of a superstar. But we also grew up on his movies. Like I love Kazam. I love the what was he played a superhero Ox in the silver fit.
What, like Tin Man? Not Tin
Steel.
Man.
No.
Yeah,
Steel. He played Steel. Like he was everything. And then the bald head when he went to the Lakers, the Superman tattoo, like he just had it. And then like literally he just bullied everybody. And I remember watching, they played the Knicks, and that's the only reason it was on television. I remember him dunking on old boy and then pushing him. Like that was a highlight on SportsCenter for like the next week. You know what I mean? Like Shaq was just, you never thought you would see, and that's why everybody thought he was better than Duncan. Everybody thought he was better than Kobe. Everybody thought he was better than David Robinson. And maybe had Hakeem had not been right in that lost era. Because I think the issue with Hakeem, he was in the lost years because there was no Jordan. I think if Hakeem was later, I think he would get almost just as much respect as Shaq did. But Shaq was like primetime television in LA.
Remember who we talking about though, and a lot of people forget that Olajuwon wasn't a bruising big man. He was a finesse big. He wasn't. He wasn't the consummate bully big. He was a finesse big, but he could play rough when it was necessary. I mean, and that's where it came on the defensive end. But as far as Shaq and his dominance, I mean, they as Chamberlain went. Chamberlain wasn't as mean as Shaq, but he was mean enough. And I think to his detriment, he wasn't mean enough because he could have done more. As much as it's a double-edged sword with Chamberlain, because I mean, when I hear Bob Cousy saying stuff like, if he had the drive that Bill Russell had, he could have been even more awesome. I mean, he averaged the most points in NBA history. He has the most rebounds in NBA history. I mean, how much more awesome could he have been?
Yeah,
but Chill, the thing.
I'm trying to make sense of that. How much more? And they changed all the rules to detriment him, and he still thrived. How much more awesome could he have been?
Well, he was the first, but he was the first basketball super athlete, though. Like again, like there were other sports that had those, like Jim Thorpe and all those. Like the NFL had them. The MLB had one, obviously, with Jackie Robinson and I forgot what boy's name was, but like. There was just no Wilt. Wilt was a 7-foot like track athlete. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? I have to guard.
The thing though, Swiper too. Like the thing with Wilt is, and I can relate to being big. Like when you tall, right? You hear a lot of people. The people just be saying little shit like, "Oh, you're only good because you're tall. If I was your height, I could do this, right?" And this so for a second, I remember being like in the 9th, 10th grade, and that's when I kind of really start growing. And people like, oh, if I was your height, and so then I start trying to do other stuff to prove, like, nah, I could do this. And I'm like, wait, it's a blessing to be tall. Right. You know what I'm saying? You gotta when you big like that, you gotta dominate. I think Wilt kind of fell into I'm dominating, but I want to prove to y'all that I'm athletic, I'm smooth, I could do this, Where Shaq, on the other hand, like, no, I'm gonna hit you. I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, I'm gonna hit you. And a lot of people just didn't want to get hit because for Shaq, if Shaq elbows me in the face, I gotta feel this all week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think there's a difference with Shaquille O'Neal.
He had the best play in basketball too, I think. I'm
telling you, there's if we talk about, if we could give one person the most dominant player in basketball, the best basketball player we ever seen, I'm putting all my money on peak Shaquille O'Neal. That is the most dominant, most best I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like that before. 2000 Shaq, 2001 Shaq, you can't nobody tops that, bro. There's no version of anybody that tops that.
Yeah, and I said that to him. I said, Shaq, you should have shut the GOAT debate down. Like, we shouldn't be having this conversation. It should have been you. And it should have been you and you only. It shouldn't have been nobody else. From everything that you were able to do and how awesome you were, you should have shut the GOAT debate down.
He was too good, Chill.
I remember they played against Philly really quickly. And I said to him after that series, I said, if you don't ever win another championship, if you don't ever go back to the finals again, that won't bother me one bit. Because after what I just saw you do to Mutombo, I can watch that forever. I can watch that. The way he beat him up in that series, the way he roughed him up, how you handle a big man, the way he did, how he just straight dominated him, took the game to his chest, took the game right to Mutombo. I said I could watch that all day long. And I remember vividly, like it was just yesterday, when Mutombo came out and said he is not want a double team against Shaq. And I remember steam coming out of his ears, being so hot, Ox. Like, this dude think he could cover me one-on-one? What? Jermaine, I'm going to destroy this dude. I mean, he's gritting his teeth and he's foaming at the mouth. He's like, Jermaine, I'm going to fucking destroy this dude. I swear. And he did. He did.
You know how many times, like, when you watch a game and it's like a crowd of people, I've never seen people react the way they do to Shaq. Like, Shaq used to score and people will be in there screaming, that's a foul. Like, he's on offense, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, he's fouling. He got the ball. And I mean, I know there's such thing as offensive foul. Obviously, we know that. But when somebody's that dominant that we're screaming for offensive fouls against him, bro, that's GOAT shit, bro.
I do the same thing for Giannis.
Here, Mars, that super chat right there from Jalil West. It says, "What's the most dangerous, unstoppable offensive move in NBA history for X to skyhook, Curry 3, Bron in transition?" I'm telling you that move. It's not a move. It's a set, but it was a move. Chill. What I just brought up. That's that baseline Shaq shoulder spin, and it usually was to his right shoulder. Whoever had the ball. Like they were trying to like to front Shaq, but it was like a 3-4 front because they just didn't want an entry. Because then you got a gang, and so but Shaq because he was such an athlete, he literally like would not have real position. His shoulder he had the biggest shoulder in the league. He would turn that shoulder into you, and I'm talking about 2 feet, just throw the ball up every time. It was a dunk.
Remember Rajon and KG used to do that.
Yep. Yeah, he did it too. That's where they got it from. Like, but to me, that was the most like you weren't stopping that. Like, there's nothing you're doing.
KD's mid range, Jordan's mid range. I think it's
KD's mid range, Jordan's mid range.
Well, statistically, the best shots in NBA history. Statistically, the best shots in NBA history are Michael Jordan mid range or a Curry 3. They're a Shaq post. Durant midi, depending on what you're talking about and all that.
I think it's Jabbar's skyhook. It was the most unstoppable shot.
Giannis
no matter what you did, you couldn't get to it. And he went to it. He went to it any and every opportunity he had to, and it worked more times than it didn't. I think there are 10 shots. There are probably 10 shots that are the best shots ever, like iconic shots ever, like the most dominant point per possession shots ever. I think there are probably 10 of them.
I mean, I think you gotta have Dirk's fade in there.
Yep.
I think you gotta have a James Harden isolation, but I mean,
100%. Yeah, a peak James Harden isolation,
isolation drive, whatever. Isolation James Harden. KD 102 dribble pull up, Kareem skyhook,
Jordan fade over the right nail.
Jordan turnaround jumper.
That Shaq lob I'm putting in there.
It's hard for me to put a lob in there. It's really
It is because we
But
can.
I'm saying,
we
but what
can-
are you doing? Like, there's nothing you can do about it though. Like, what are you gonna do? Get in my way?
Like we can't use. Yes, we can't use that
but
all game.
it's more. That's more dependent on like.
Yes, we
Okay.
can't use that all.
Okay,
game.
let's say a Shaq post turn. No, whatever. Ball or no ball.
Yeah.
Move like a Shaq move out the way.
Well, they had to change the rules because when Shaq would get it and boom and turn
Mhm.
and he bowing guys in the face or bowing guys in the chest, it was becoming somewhat of a problem.
And Panzu, yeah,
Yes,
Jokic floater. Yep.
It
we good.
became
No, Mark,
more
can we
of a
not troll?
problem.
Can we not troll today, please?
So with
Isaiah
that,
Hartenstein floater? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, the Shaq bow. Yeah, I mean, just
we
imagine
kind of
getting
got
hit
off.
with that
We
in the
kind of got off the track.
Mid-range pull-up.
We kind of got off the track, and this is clearly about celebrating KD for being the bucket getter that he is. Mars, I gotta say, and again to honor KD, I still think that Carmelo Anthony got robbed because he should be a part of the 30,000 point club.
100% he got robbed.
We got robbed those 2 years of Carmelo Anthony. Had we not gotten robbed of those 2 years of Carmelo Anthony, he would be a member of the 30,000 point club. He's one of the best scorers that I've ever seen. There aren't many guys that I've seen that get to it like Carmelo Anthony did. And the fact that, we got robbed of those 2 years because it wasn't just because he, wouldn't conform, because he would. It was, I think people had agendas against him and they didn't think that he would. I think they had agendas against him and they didn't think that he would conform to being this kind of player. And it kept him out of the league for 2 years when he clearly still had the goods at that time.
Daryl Morey started that too. Daryl signed him and never talked to him and then cut him.
Clearly still had the goods during that time. And he should be a member of the 30,000 point club. And
He'd be the number 1 overall pick in this draft, Mars. You disagree? If he out of Syracuse right now?
The Cooper Flag draft?
Yes.
Oh,
Out of Syracuse.
I'm not.
John D doesn't like that at all.
No. I like it. I like it.
You gotta remember where Melo was at this point. Melo was, when he came out, like he's being touted as like the best scorer and forward rebounder, best forward scorer and forward rebounder to come out of the draft since like KG basically out of high school. Like the way he was being talked about.
He was the best player. He was the best player in.
Go ahead, Coach.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. He was the best player in the tournament as a freshman. That's never happened in NCAA. Never. That's never happened. He was clearly the best player in the tournament.
I think you would have liked him, Mars.
Maybe.
Yes. He was the best player in the tournament, and it wasn't a question of who he was. I'm sorry if I cut you off, John D.
No, you good. I think in today's game he would probably be even like people would be even higher on him as a prospect with him being able to play the 4.
Think about if Melo walked in taking threes, John D, like he just knew that like I got to get 8 threes up a game. It wouldn't even.
I don't think it's crazy to say.
It wouldn't be a question.
I don't think Melo's game is 8 threes.
No, that's not his game, Moss. That's not who he is.
But I'm saying if you would have went through the high school system,
he's gonna take like 4 to 6 just because the modern game. But like KD never got to like 8 a game. It's just not.
You think if he went to the high school system, like with the same kind of emphasis on like the 3 ball and getting to the rim, Melo, what people don't remember, Melo was a McDonald's All-American dunk champion too. Like he was a great diver, like he was a great rim finisher, but he just turned into like this mid-range merchant, especially as he got older. Like once Melo shaved his head shield, his game changed. I don't know what happened. He just like he when he had the braid, he was dunking on you, he was doing all this other stuff, but once he shaved his head, it's just like, oh, mid-range merchant.
Thinking about go ahead.
You got it.
Oh, thinking about how like the NBA does things now. If Melo was coming out today, they probably would be marketing him as like the next guy, like the next face. The braids, the play style, the personality. They'd be like, this is the guy, American born, that's how the NBA works. They would have, like, you know what, this is our guy. This is who we're gonna market.
They would never do that for Pierce, right, Swiper?
No, they would not. I'm telling you, you weren't there, Mars. You weren't there.
I'm agreeing
Chill
with
on my
you.
line.
I'm agreeing
Chill
with
on my
you.
line.
I'm
To my line,
agreeing
chill.
with you.
About what?
The people, Paul Pierce was never loved like that out of college like Melo or in the league like Melo.
He wasn't.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Swiper. That was me agreeing with you. I was just giving you the platform to say.
Yeah,
he wasn't. before we get on to other things, we do still have some super chats pertaining to KD, so I'm
Yep.
gonna read them. This is less about KD actually. Drink More Water said, now that KD has reached 30,000 points, which current players do you guys see also reaching that mark? Harden, he's not 43k away. I think he's 3k away. Russ is 4k away, while Steph and DeMar are 5k away. Which current players do you see hitting the 30,000 point mark? Like he said, James Harden is at 26,900. Russell Westbrook's at 25,800. Steph Curry is at 24,700, and DeMar DeRozan is at 24,600. If you want to throw him in there, Giannis is nearly at 20,000. Trying to think of some other guys who have a chance. Devin Booker's nearly at 16,000.
He's only
Jokic
20,
is
27,
at 15. Yeah, Jokic is at 15,500. Anyone else with a solid chance? I mean, Wemby's young, obviously.
Luka and Wemby are getting there.
Luka's at 12,000.
Tatum?
I think
where is Tatum?
That's
14?
not terrible.
Is that 14?
Jason Tatum's at 13,000.
Yeah.
20, 26. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, SGA might have started too late. What's SGA at? It's like 8,000.
10,000. He's at
10?
10,000. Yeah. He's at 10,000, but he's older than Luka, who's at 12. So
does Jason Tatum's game age as he gets older?
Yeah, all he does is take jumpers anyway, 100%.
yeah, he gets enough threes. He gets enough threes up that he's got a shot. Anthony Edwards.
That's what I was thinking.
By the way, Anthony Edwards has a chance.
Oh wait, Trey Young. Matter of fact, that's probably gonna happen. Trey Young gonna be the first 30,000 points per game player not a Hall of Fame.
That's not.
He's gonna make the Hall of Fame.
No, he ain't. They're gonna keep him out for whatever reason.
Trey Young has more. Trey Young has more points than Shaq. He's at 11,500.
He's gonna get him up too. I will say this: Trey Young doesn't have a year that he doesn't average 20 points a game until he gets to like the end of his career, based on how he plays.
Shea only just passed Buddy Hield in all-time scorer.
How many more years does Curry have at this level? He'll be 37 next month.
2.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking he plays. I was thinking he plays 1-2 more years at this level, tops.
He's already regressing. I doubt.
Yes, he has.
For 2 more years.
But he'll average 20.
No, let me rephrase the question, Moss.
20, but 20 I'm not gonna get him to 30,000.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Let me rephrase the question, Moss. How many more years do you think does Curry play?
When his contract is up. When his contract is up, I expect him to go. So
he'll play to 41. He'll play to 41.
When does Steph's contract run out?
Well, he just signed a 2-year extension on the current deal that he has.
Let's see.
So
Steph. Where the hell is this?
I think he plays 3 more years, and I think he's out.
2027. Maybe he gets an extension,
years.
But beyond that, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I only think Johnny plays 3 more years. Russ will be 37 in November, and I don't think Russ is made. I think Russ is, if I'm not mistaken, I think Russ, if he didn't make the most, I think he's made the second most money in NBA history of any of these players. None of these guys. If it's not him, then he's second. So I mean, Russ is in Denver playing basically for free. The deal was 2 years at $7 million. He's playing for peanuts. So I mean, does Russ play 3 more years till 40 years old? I don't think so. DeMar DeRozan, is DeMar DeRozan going to hold up 4 more years?
Maybe.
I mean, what is he, 30, 35?
He's going to play on some team that's just going to ask him to shoot. He'll be the worst. Will he be the worst player in 30,000, 30K?
Would he be the worst?
Maybe,
yes.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get it. I'm actually.
I mean, he's 5,400 away.
So what, 3.5 years?
James Harden has to average 20 points for the next 150 games or so, and he'll get that.
So that's 2.5 seasons with James Harden, or 2. That's
about,
less than
2 seasons.
About 2 seasons. I'm sorry for James Harden. Can he
he
average 20 a game for 2 more years? Can James Harden do that?
I don't know.
I think so.
I think if he plays beyond that,
if Kawhi's not on the team, yes.
I expect James Harden to hit 30,000. I expect James Harden to hit 30,000. I don't expect Russ to hit it. I just don't think Russ is getting enough points up.
With these guys, and since you brought that up, Moss, with these guys now entering that category, entering that realm, would that lessen it? Like, let's say for the sake of argument, because I don't think so. I'm asking you guys, with Curry and DeMar DeRozan, if Russ was able, and James Harden, all 4 of these guys were able to get to the 30,000 point mark.
No, people would just ask, but Russ is an MVP, Harden's an MVP, Curry's an MVP.
People will question DeMar.
But the only thing about DeMar though is people were just like, well, what happened? What was DeMar? DeMar
He was very durable and he put up a lot of points. That's what it was.
But he was
didn't miss a lot of games.
effectively the Joe Johnson of his era. Effectively Joe Johnson of his era. He wasn't the supreme wing, but he was a very good all-star level wing for many years, and he was a really, really good scorer for many years. And most Neff keeps asking me about Jokic. No, Jokic is going to join LeBron in the only players ever with 20, 10, and 10. That's where Jokic is going to be, and he's not getting in any 30,000. I don't know if he gets 25,000, but
I mean,
when
you get to that, how many more years in your estimation, Joker? How many more years do you think Joker plays? Because Joker is what is he? 29?
29.
About to be 30.
I think
30,
he's
He'll
close to
probably.
like
I can see
30.
Joker playing until he's 36, 37. He'll be at his prime with the way he plays.
Yep.
Probably through like 34, maybe.
So we got
And then
another
I
5
think-
years of we got another 5 years of prime Joker.
Well, remember, he's big. So remember
Right.
what happened to Dirk. Dirk said, if I didn't play those last 2 years, I'd be able to play with my kids. But those extra 2 years on Dirk's body and his knees it took him out of like he just can't function in life like he normally would have.
Right.
Joker would never do that because Joker's probably going to have another child at least by then. He's more family oriented probably than any other like superstar that I can.
I just don't see Joker playing another 8-9 years. I don't.
He'll if he's hurt, if he's not feeling good, he's out. Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, I don't see him doing it. And that's not to say that Joker, because what we confuse Joker with, a guy who's as good as he is, but he doesn't care. That's not true. You can't be that good and not work and not care. Joker does with the quote unquote dad bod god, despite what he looks like. Joker takes care of his body. I watched Joker drop 35 pounds. He 100% did that. But I just don't think that Joker. I think he values other things more than basketball in the sense of when I'm 35, when I'm 36, I got a 7-year-old daughter and I got a 4-year-old son. I mean, do I still need to do this?
Do you so hold on. So we're at Mark, can you look up Russ is at how many rebounds right now?
8,500.
Nah, bro. I don't think Russ gets to 10,000, but he would be him and LeBron though.
That 1,500 rebounds is tough.
That's a lot of rebounds, man, for a guard.
The most rebounds Russ ever got in a season is 864, and that's when he was averaging 10. So he would have had to do that for 2 years to get there. Right now, he's averaging like if you look at his most recent season,
6 or 5, I think.
Right now, he's averaging like 300 rebounds a season, 300, 400.
Right.
No,
he'd have to play another 4 years.
No,
he's not doing that.
No, and he's not getting 6. He's not going to get time to get 6 to 7 boards a game.
So it's tough, but I mean, maybe he's 200 assists away, so he'll get that. Like he'll be fine. He'll get that.
How many players with 10,000 assists?
10,000
James.
assists?
No, Stockton, James, Chris Paul.
Mark
Jason
Jackson
Kidd has 10,000. Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson. I think
Jason Kidd.
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash and Magic Johnson. Those are the.
But to your point, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, 25,000 points, 10,000 assists.
No one's done.
30,000 points,
other than LeBron,
except James. Yeah, other than James.
How many?
Well, even 25,000, no one's done it other than LeBron.
Yes, and Russ is going to enter that.
How many points does Russ have?
25,800.
Yep.
Man, that's what I'm saying. I think players like that will get more love. Like we talk about this with Harden. I think Russ will get a lot more love historically. Like, what do you mean you're one of 2 players with 25 and 10?
He won't though.
Am I the only one? Am I the only one that thinks that all your points should count? Playoff points should count. It's crazy to me that playoff points don't count. Like it's not my fault you didn't go to the playoffs, and I'm making long playoff runs. If anything, I should be praised for that. Like all your playoff points should count.
As far as I was concerned, LeBron passed Kareem a long time before he passed Kareem. Like he scored way more in the playoffs. Like he passed Kareem a long time ago. But like the regular season records are what people hold the most weight to. I don't know why. They tell me the playoffs are more important, but then all these longevity records are based on the regular season only.
Right.
I don't know why that happens, but
well, the NFL, the NFL and the MLB are the same way though.
But they're wrong too. Then like the playoffs. Especially for you, Swipe, because so for instance, Swipe, you always bring up, well, he didn't do this in the playoffs, so you bring up playoffs a lot, right? Yep. And I think you hold playoffs to a higher standard. If that's the case, why are we only holding the games? Why aren't we holding the stats? You know what I'm saying? In the total, it's not. If you don't make long playoff runs, and your stats suffer for it, That's part of the game. That's the way it crumbles. If I'm LeBron James and I'm going at least to for 10 years straight, he was going to the finals. That's something that should be praised. All of those points should count.
I agree. Like,
I
as
think
far
the
as I'm
NBA
concerned,
looks
it's
at it
way
like
more
2
impressive
seasons.
that LeBron's 200 points away.
Well,
from
but to be
50,000.
fair, they don't do
Right.
that in
Right,
in the Sierra like TRA in the other leagues for soccer either. Like they have tournament points, and then they have like the regular season match points and all that stuff. So everybody kind of has to separate just because that's its own league. Like in soccer, once you get to the tourney, that's a league. You know what I mean? Every time you leave, like in international play in soccer, they have team play, club play, and then they have international stats. Like everybody kind of separates like that. If that makes sense.
I can see that then, but in the NBA, it's the NBA in October, it's the NBA in November, it's the NBA in May, June.
No, fix your language, Ox. It's the MNBA, sir. That's the new way.
I'm not saying that.
Damn, you.
I'm not doing all that.
Oh, Ox, we haven't talked since Aaliyah Edwards gave Stewie a 12-0, by the way. We haven't had a word.
That was fire. I mean, shout out to Aaliyah. I like Aaliyah.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's 1-on-1, man.
I know, but you get hot.
This is why the NBA won't do it.
I know, but I'm saying that's but
I wouldn't
again, that's how skilled it is.
Is Aaliyah Edwards a bum or something?
No, she's great.
Hell no, she's not no bum.
But it's just but a 12,
but it's
12
Stewie. It's Stewie.
Yeah, 12-0 is a lot. But that means she just didn't miss though.
Yeah,
she didn't miss anything.
Well, I believe Stewie missed a couple, and you know what I'm saying. And on top of that, they're going to 11 2s and 3s. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like
2s and 3s. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2s and 3s to 11. If you're playing 2s and 3s, you should probably be going to 15. You know what I mean? But whatever. Hey, I'm digging this. I'm really digging this. I like
win in the NBA, Ox? Since you're the one-on-one guy, who will win in the NBA?
Since when did I become the one-on-one guy?
But I made a bracket.
Who will win in the NBA? I would probably.
You made a bracket.
It's kind of tough. I don't know. Give me a couple of seconds. I want to say obviously I want to say KD, but I think Anthony Edwards has some action in this.
Well, Kyrie already beat Luka, so we already know what one of those rounds are. Kyrie beat Luka already.
Well, Luka can't guard Kyrie. That's not really a fair matchup. I think Kyrie guards Luka better than Luka guards Kyrie, and that's no knock to Luka. It's just
maybe you think Giannis will win? Just by
Giannis, well, they got a 7-second shot clock. It's a 7-second shot clock. So I don't know. I don't know if Giannis will have much.
But you know, when you practice, Giannis probably got a jumper in practice, though. That's what you know what I mean. Like he probably got.
Technically, he got a jumper in the game too.
Yeah, but we're realists though. Go ahead.
I made a bracket. I made a bracket in this type of scenario because I be thinking about a lot of shit at work, and I made a bracket of four brackets with guards, wings, and bigs. And I thought about like NBA stars, like big stars like the LeBrons, the Giannis's, the Jokers. They may not want to participate in this. So I made a bracket going off of that if they don't want to participate. This is the first bracket. Cade, Jalen Green, Darius Garland, LaMelo. Who do you think walks out of that?
Cade. Cade or DG.
I mean, see, the issue with Garland, though, Garland is so fast. And if it's 2s and 3s, he's the best shooter of the group. And then if he makes his layups because he's getting by you, then like I might put my money on Garland, honestly.
I've got Cade or Darius Garland. Those would be my two.
I'm going DG.
This is bracket 2. Bracket 2 is Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, Tyrese Halliburton, James Harden.
That sucks.
Brunson.
I don't know, bro. Tyrese is fast too.
James Harden.
I don't know, bro. Because one-on-one is a different thing, bro.
Yeah, Brunson. I'm going Brunson for sure.
I'm going
next
with James
bracket.
Harden for
I
sure.
put the kind of slimmer, more ball handle type of bigs in one bracket. Jaren Jackson, Chet Holmgren, Evan Mobley, Wemby.
Probably Chet.
Wemby's out of there, bro.
It's probably Jaren Jackson if I'm being honest.
Yeah, maybe. Who's because Jaren has the fastest release. Chet might be able to get to a spot, but Jaren might be the best shooter. Period.
Jaren not getting that shot up off of him though, because we're playing 1-on-1. He's
stronger though. Like he can create enough separation.
He can. But dudes like all three of them will go over the top of Jaren.
He ain't that much shorter than Evan though. Evan's like 6'9".
But their arms are so long. I think they get their shots up over Jaren. I think all three of them guard Jaren better than they guard him when they guard them personally.
And this is the
I think I'm going with Chet.
I don't know who would win that one if I'm being honest.
This is the wings: Brandon Ingram, Paul George, Brandon Miller, and Kevin Durant.
Paul George.
KD.
Get Paul George out of there.
I don't know, bro. Paul George might be the big. He might be the big one-on-one merchant though. Real spit.
No, he
dribbled
for
too
sure
much. I got
bing.
7
He's not
seconds.
beating KD though, but he for sure bing. Absolutely.
I also put some rules into the guards. The guards you check up at the top of the key and about a small shot clock or maybe 5 dribbles. For bigs, they're going to post up at the elbow, get the ball, 3 dribbles. For wings, probably an inbound play, 3 dribbles.
Oh well, I'm about to say because KG beat everybody with full court rules. So KG, honestly, whoever the KG is in this era that can just dribble and pull up and do all that would win this.
Oh, Kevin Durant.
I wonder what. So you didn't put Jason Tatum in that group instead of Brandon Miller.
He shoots too slow, bro.
I wanted to make it like with not the high level superstars because everybody does brackets with the LeBron versus KD.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, because I think Kevin Durant would really want to be a part of
just
something
gonna
like
be
that.
there, man.
Yeah,
for sure,
KD
I
would
can see
really
that.
want to be a part of that. Like, even if KD wasn't invited, he would make a fuss like, yo, I want to be a part of this. So I'm like, I can't just take KD out because I think out of all these like really big guys like LeBron, KD, Steph, all those guys, KD would make his case to be in that more than all of them. So I was like, I'm gonna just put KD.
Hey, sleepy one is Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's he's one of the best.
I thought about Jimmy too.
Yeah, Jimmy would be tough. That'd be a tough beat.
I want to see Cam Thomas, but no,
I don't want to see that.
I really want to see that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Teddy Hart said, side note, KD's the only player in the 30,000 point club. That's also a 50, 40, 90 club member. I project he ends his score as the number 3 scorer behind Kareem. That's the all-time list, like
30, 50, 40, 90 as in one season.
He's been 50, 40, 90 in a season, not for his career. I don't think anyone's 50, 40, 90 for their career. I think Steve Nash came the closest, but I don't think he is.
What's the name?
Do you know what KD is right now for his career? Is he close to that?
I think I want to say off the top of my head, I want to say he's 50.
John D, look up Kyle Korver and Mike Dunleavy.
Okay. Kevin
Durant for his career 50, 38.8. So it's 39. I was close. 88. I was close. I was 1% off.
Oh, that's close enough. He's 50, 49.
He got drafted in 2007, though, bro. Let's give him the boost. So look at Steve Novak, Dirk Dunleavy, and Kyle
Steve
Korver.
Novak won't be there because he only shot threes. Mike Dunleavy's 44, 38, 80. So he's
never mind.
Kyle Korver is 44, 43, 87.
Let's see where Mark Price is at. Mark Price has a sneaky case. 47, 40, 90. Never mind.
Mahmoud, look up Mahmoud, John D.
Steve Nash is 49, 43, 90. So Steve Nash,
golly,
he's very close.
Who you say?
Mahmoud won't be there.
Mahmoud,
he won't be there. 44, 35, 90.
You know who that is? Oh, Chris. His name
is
former
LSU legend Chris Jackson.
Yeah, he used to be Chris Jackson.
Anyway, yeah, KD's, unless Steph makes it, he will be the only one who's been 50, 40, 90 in the 30,000 point club. Any more Kevin Durant ones before we get onto other topics?
We got a lot of interesting.
There topics. We go. Teddy Hart again. People forget KD has never averaged over 20 field goal attempts per game. He won the NBA scoring title while not leading his own team, Russ, in field goal attempts. If he was a Kobe/MJ type gunner, it'd be ridiculous. I think there's something to be said about being able to generate a lot of shots for yourself. It's not just, if you just give him 4 extra shots, like you have to get 4 extra shots. You can't just be given 4 shots. You have to generate 4 shots and clean shots if you want to score. So is Kevin Durant in the mold to where he could get you 20?
What do you average in the Bucks series in 21?
In that series? Let's see.
I think if he wanted to, like I get what you're saying, Mars, but KD could for sure force up some shots. He could force up.
I'm not saying he couldn't, but is it like
I think
his team's best interest?
No, I don't think so, and that's what I like about KD. KD not a chucker. Like KD's looking for good shots, and I think when you shoot good shots, that makes you a better scorer. When you're just shooting, and mind you, I always say that Kobe shot shots
26.
Kobe shot shots that were Kobe shot shots that were bad for other people, but they weren't bad for him.
How many points a game you average in that series?
35.
26. What's the most shots attempts ever in a series? Is it Kobe?
Allen Iverson for sure. Something Allen Iverson.
30? Did he have 30?
I think.
I'll look, but I'm certain that's something Allen Iverson did. Or it's in the 60s.
I'm pretty confident.
Like or something.
No, I don't know, Mars, because I don't know, Mars. In 93, I mean, that 55 game that Jordan, he took 43 shots that night. Jordan was averaging 41 a game in that series. I think he was averaging something close to 30 shots a game in that series. He was getting up shots.
But KD averaged 21 field goal attempts a game and was still 60% true shooting throughout the playoffs. So it's like, even if he does take more shots, I still think he could generate the shots to get really clean, efficient.
AI in the 0-1 finals averaged 32 shots a game.
He had to do it, though. Wow. He literally had to do it, bro. I wish
I'm not knocking him.
No, not you, but just people like, 32 is like, there was nobody else. Who'd you throw the ball to?
Man, I understand when we can take that stance of, he didn't have nobody. But when we're talking about professional basketball players, there's other people that can score the basketball.
No,
right? Allen, yes, there was, but Allen Iverson was a certified.
Who you giving the ball to on that team?
It's not because yes, you have to play basketball, right? But it's not like here. I'm just gonna give you the ball and I'm just gonna stand here and watch you. When you run sets,
30 what?
And run offenses,
he averaged 30 shots a game for the whole playoff.
When you run sets and run offenses, there's everybody out here can put the ball in the basket. So obviously, okay, there might be one or two people out you like, I'm not giving them the ball right there. But these are professional basketball players. All of them can shoot the ball. You got like Allen Iverson was a chucker, but we know this.
Okay, Aaron McKee in the regular season averaged 9 shots a game, and then the next score after that was Theo Ratliff, who was a defensive player, and then there was Eric Snow, who was a pure point guard. That team is one of the most imbalanced teams ever. It was a defensive juggernaut. And then you have AI playing 46 minutes a game. And the next closest shot taker was, again, a super role player that never had another year like this, who I loved. Because I had an Aaron McKee jersey, a black one. Aaron McKee and Eric Snow were at 13 and 9. And then Dikembe Mutombo, known post scorer, at 9 a game. Man, that team sucked, dude.
Yeah, but because he was taking all the shots. You can't say, he averaged this, he averaged that, so they can't score. I can't score because I don't shoot. This little nigga shooting all the shots.
Okay, so I heard this thing where it was like people who take a lot of shots with a bad team, sometimes the best shot stays in their hands. Would you trust Allen Iverson to take these shots on volume than a Aaron McKee or Eric Snow? Like, there's possessions where it's like, you know what? Maybe the best shot is going to be generated by Allen Iverson. Even if we do want to give the ball up multiple times and get other guys involved, sometimes it's just not the best thing for the offense.
And that's so unfair to say that team sucked, because that team didn't suck. Swiper, you might not have liked it. You might not have liked it
offensively. I'm saying
you might not have liked.
No, I said they were defensively very good. Offensively, they were not a good team.
That was not a bad. That was a good team.
They were a bad offensive team outside of AI. Chill.
Because they were a bad offensive team because they stood around and watched.
They didn't have to solely. They didn't have to solely.
I don't agree with that.
Well, wait a minute, Mars. The fact that they solely relied. Remember who these guys are. I mean, Aaron McKee was a bucket in college. Aaron McKee was a bucket getter in college. So he could score.
Allen. What's that mean?
Tony Allen could not score in college. No, he couldn't. Tony Allen was not.
Mars. Tony Allen was not Aaron McKee. Mars.
Dennis Rodman averaged like 27 in college.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're talking about Aaron McKee. That's not the same.
What I'm saying is that you could, when these guys come into the NBA, and they now accept a certain role. Aaron McKee accepted. Aaron McKee accepted what his role was on that.
You look like he was Ron Harper or something, Chill. Like Ron Harper was a scorer. Now, if you told me to have Ron,
but you act like he can't, like he couldn't.
He wasn't. Look, I'm looking at Aaron McKee's career right now. Because I watched
Allen Iverson was a better scorer than all of these guys. I'm not going to argue that part. I will not argue that he was a better scorer than every last one of these guys. But a lot of these guys, when they came to the NBA, they were bucket getters.
Chill. Do you know that season was the second highest production offensive season of his career for Aaron McKee?
The second highest.
The first was the very next year when he took a whopping 10 shots a game.
Right, and that was his role, playing with Allen Iverson. That's
okay, but Chill, he didn't just do that. So then
the
he had Philly.
NBA,
he played with Portland in 95, 96 and took 9 a game.
And I accepted what my role was at that point. This is who I'm going to be. Same thing like when Dennis Rodman comes into the league. Dennis Rodman accepts the fact that I'm a dirty work guy. Dennis Rodman, if he played on another team where they tried to enhance his offensive game, He made.
No, he couldn't have been. No, he couldn't have been. No, he couldn't have been. No, he
He
couldn't have been. No, he couldn't have been. No, he couldn't have been.
Wait, why not? 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 Why not?
Well,
He was.
I'm all ears. Why
Dennis
not?
Rodman was never a scorer.
So a
Never.
guy who comes into the league averaging 26 a game in college.
Oh
When he
my
comes in,
gosh.
when he comes into the pros,
Where did he play in college, Joe?
we've had plenty of guys.
I just want to know, where did he play?
He went to Southeast Oklahoma State.
Who?
He went to Southeast
Hey,
Oklahoma
respect
State.
Southeast.
Who?
He went to Southeast Oklahoma State. The point
So,
I'm making is
you didn't even say Valdosta. You didn't say Alcorn. Shout out HBCU. You didn't say any of those places. Say it again.
Southeast Oklahoma State. What I'm saying is that when guys come to the league, they accept in order to stick, in order to be productive. I'm accepting I'm a dirty work guy. I'm accepting I'm a defender. Dennis Rodman came into the league and accepted that, okay, I'm the dirty work guy. Whatever you guys want me to do, I'm doing it. If he played on a team where they wanted to enhance his scoring, if he played on a team where they told him like, yo, Dennis, you need to be a better scorer. Well, it's clear that he could score, so that's something that he would have worked on. I always reference Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard did not come into the NBA as a scorer. No, he did not. And if I would have told you,
they're not the same. They're not the same at all. You know why? I watched Kawhi just like Ox did. Kawhi could score. He had to learn how to develop into what he became as a jump shooter. He had no jump shot. He then learned how to shoot the jump shot over the course of years and became a volume scorer. That's a completely different scenario. You know who wasn't a scorer? You know who wasn't a scorer, Chill? What the GOAT of his era, according to the Anthony kid, Paul George, Fresno State.
Oh, yeah.
He came into the Patriots. He wasn't shooting the ball. But guess what? We all looked at him and said, that dude could be a scorer one day.
right,
And he became a scorer.
100%.
I never said that about Dennis Rodman.
And the reason why is because Dennis came into the game not doing that because Isaiah Thomas was on the team, because Joe Dumars was on the team, because Dennis Johnson was on the team.
What did Dennis Rodman do offensively to make you think he could be a good scorer?
Okay, well, when I watched him in college, when I watched footage of him in college,
You did watch footage of him in college.
Yes, I did. There is footage of Dennis Rodman in college. Dennis Rodman could knock down a mid-range shot. Yes, he could. Now, was Dennis Rodman a one-on-one player? He was a glass cleaner, 100%. But we could have enhanced Dennis Rodman's game as a scorer if that's the kind of team he was on. But the kind of team he was on a crew with Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars and Vinnie Johnson and Bill Laimbeer. We got a bunch of bucket getters. So how do I fit into this crew? What do I do? What do I do to make sure that I'm going to be the most productive on this crew? Okay, we don't got anybody that does the dirty work. We don't have anybody that's playing defense, diving on the floor for loose balls, rebounding. Okay, I'm going to do that because I also did that in college too. And that's what's going to keep me. That's what's going to keep me on the floor. And that's what he did. Kawhi Leonard had the skill set, just like Dennis Rodman may have very well had the skill set. Kawhi Leonard actually focused on being more of a scorer because he had to be, because those guys on that crew were getting older and they were transitioning into him being a better scorer as opposed to.
Well, Chill, how about this? You know what? Chill, you're right. You're right. You know why, Mars? Because the Warriors were looking for a good second option for years. You know why? Because they were underutilizing their personnel. You know who was a great scorer in high school that was a lead option in high school that should be getting more touches in the NBA?
Kevon Looney.
Kevon Looney, 100%.
Sure was.
He was a bucket. He was a bucket in high school. Why aren't they giving him the ball? Sure, he could average 20 in this league. Why not?
Didn't they say he was the next Kevin Durant? Wasn't they calling him?
He could do everything.
Yeah,
he can do it all.
Because Sniper, you're acting like you're not understanding this, and you clearly do, bro. I don't know why you're doing this. It's not even Friday, bro. It's Wednesday. Relax. You like a lot of these dudes that aren't scoring. A lot of these dudes that are averaging 7 could average 18. You know what I'm saying? But they're just playing their role. Like there's a lot of dudes in the NBA, like I said, that are averaging less than 10 points that could average more. You know what I'm saying? It's just you got to get in where you fit in. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a part of the NBA. It's just a part of the NBA. And when I got a team where the offenses ran through a prolific scorer like Allen Iverson, who is a hell of a scorer, a prolific scorer, like I said, I might have to stand around and watch a little more. I might got to shoot it when I get it. You know what I'm saying? That's just the part of it, y'all. That's just the part of it. But real quick though, I do want to remind y'all that we will be on playback tonight watching the Knicks and the Hawks on the main stage. Y'all make sure to get there. Playback TV, jump in the room, jump in the chat, come and enjoy yourself, y'all. Be there. Well, I believe 4:30 Pacific Standard Time, so that's 7:30 Eastern, man. Y'all make sure don't be late. Come through and show some love. We'll be on the main stage on playback.tv.
Quick question. What I gotta do to get on playback? I wanted to ask Ron.
Hey, that's a suits question. We ain't the suits. Nah.
Cheerio, where you at?
Well, that's a question you ask the suits. We don't ask us. We don't know nothing about that.
They only let me up when it's
First
the main
off,
stage,
being on
so
playback
I
with
can
these guys is not a fun experience. Okay,
Wait.
you know why?
Wait.
You don't get a chance to watch
What
the
you
game.
really want to say?
You got to
What
hear
do you
Chill
really
with his agendas going off and all that stuff.
Oh,
You got to hear Ox talk about, but your Tatum ain't gonna make it. But your Tatum ain't gonna make it. I don't want to hear that. I want to enjoy the
I
sport.
didn't say that. I did not say that.
Tatum?
Why you be up here on some hater shit? You come onto the Players' Choice platform, platform, and hate on Players' Choice.
He's the worst.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't want to be. Well, then don't. You know what? You know, Swiper. Don't show up.
It is. That's how we fix that. That's exactly.
Mind you, Swiper. I do like to watch playback. I like to do it like Eli and Peyton. You know what I'm saying? And really talk about the game and have a little side conversations. Every once in a while, we get a little sidetracked. You know what I mean? But mind you, I didn't say he wasn't going to make it. I just thought he was going to shoot a step back three.
I know to be contained. You should let your personality out. You wanted to be like, oh wow, great shot, Tatum.
I know that when me and Ox do playback, I know that we talk about the game all the time. I know that when me and Ox is on playback,
I'm gonna come on playback and I'm gonna ask you to explain the pass.
Anytime I feature on playback, he just arguing with people in the chat. That's what I see.
That's a fact. I seen you get into it with Buddy and Mike and all them. You be yelling at them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I be saying. I think that's what most people watch for, to be honest. But anyway. Let me get through these KD super chats. A lot of people have things to say. No Layers said the fastest player to reach 30K since MJ. I brought that up. The least amount of games, obviously.
Is that KD in a Clippers jersey?
I think he's tied with Jabbar with the amount of games.
Nice.
Speaking of Clippers jersey, does Ben Simmons play today?
I don't know.
I thought is it official?
Mm-hmm.
Official? What do you mean?
It's official.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if he plays though. I don't know if he plays. But maybe.
Is that good for them? Go ahead. Do your thing.
We can get into it after these super chats. Teddy Hart said during LeBron's peak, 2012 to 14, which is a top 2 all-time player, KD was the only person I personally believed could look him damn near eye to eye. Neither could stop each other. I agree. I think obviously LeBron was better, but I do think that Kevin Durant, whenever they matched up, he didn't look like he was just inferior. He didn't look like he just couldn't hold his own. I think Kevin Durant has had the closest battles head to head with LeBron, and for the longest time as well. It's been like 8-9 years where I would say like they were the top 2, top 2 or 3. Obviously, Steph came along. So yeah, I agree with that. A lot of people have changed how that era was viewed in terms of who was the top dogs and stuff. But I always thought when KD and LeBron matched up, it was those two. They were the battle. That was the battle, and I think they always put on a show, personally. So that's my thoughts on that. Shane Smith became a member. Shout out to Shane Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And then KZD with similar sentiments said people talk about Curry versus LeBron, but I find Bron versus KD more entertaining because KD consistently matches Bron while Curry is on and off. Yeah, that's kind of my point. Steph would have bad games and great games, but KD was like pretty much consistently.
KD does what?
Matches Bron.
Yeah, when he's next to Curry. Sure.
Even when he was in OKC, he was performing. I
saw Russell Westbrook go off from that from the first.
Okay.
In that series in the finals? I'm sorry, Mars. Are you serious?
He had that good game 3?
2. Oh, it's a 2 or 3 at 40, right?
Yeah. Damn, why someone tell me to shut up? Damn. Anyway, Hunter. KD has the smoothest game I've ever seen. Everything about it is fluid, just pure eye candy. Kyrie has the smoothest game I've ever seen.
Salve.
KD for his
Who's
size,
the most fluid NBA player ever?
At his apex, who was more fluid than Paul George? It just looked effortless.
Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
Kyrie.
No one believes you.
No. Paul Pierce had a clunky game. It was he was not. It wasn't really.
Yeah, his arm had no definition, no tattoos. He had the Jordan band.
No definition, no tattoos. What are you?
I ain't even talking about his body. We ain't even talking about that, Ox. That's it.
What are you talking about, bro?
No aura.
I had nothing to do with that. I don't
Yeah.
know what it was about. No. I'm just talking about a smoothness to his game, and probably Paul George.
Kyrie, but yeah, Paul George is cool. KD is a good one. Hakeem,
Kevin McHale with his back to the basket was smooth. It was smooth.
explicitly with his back to the basket. Yeah,
Yes,
them
with his
steppers,
back
them
to the
steppers.
basket.
Spitting, John D.
Hey.
Spitting.
Kobe, in a different way, but Kobe.
Anthony Edwards is
T-Mac.
very smooth. I like watching
Jordan.
that play.
Jordan had a smooth game, but it was violent at the same time.
You like, yeah.
Melo had a smooth game, but it was just very physical, so it's kind of different.
Yes.
Nobody was smoother than Melo, but we know that. I'm trying to think of somebody other than Melo.
No arm definition.
SJ's
Right.
game
What are
is
you
smooth,
talking
by the way.
about?
SJ's game
Yeah.
is smooth. But
SGA got a really
excuse
smooth
me?
game. Yes, he does.
No.
I won't argue that. Mm-mm.
No, too many stop and starts. Not a real handle. Not like
SGA.
Melo. Not like
No,
Melo.
not a real
your
handle.
ability-
get-
wait a second, though.
we
Your
getting
ability-
through Super J. He yapping.
But Mars, your ability to slow down your pace, stop and go, that's smooth.
I agree.
Like
How
that's
you-
just-
how you-
Swipe is at that stage of the show where he's just yapping now. He's tired.
Yeah.
if I'm coming down, I hesitate. I
Not a
hesitate.
real
Boom,
handle.
boom. That's smooth, man.
Yeah, like he's just yapping.
Ox was Paul Pierce's game. My fault. Was Paul Pierce's game smoother than Tracy McGrady's?
Nobody's game was smoother than Tracy McGrady.
Cut.
Mhm.
I mean, now to be fair, Tracy, when he was like, he could dribble, he can move, he could jump. He was like, because he was so long. Oh, another name, Penny Hardaway, mad smooth, mad smooth.
Hell yeah.
Grant Hill too,
That's-
for the short time he had. Grant Hill was also smooth.
Yeah, Penny's a good one actually.
Don't forget
Yeah,
about Scotty
Penny's a good
too.
one. Okay. Did KD even have a player or team that he struggles against, like a Battier for Kobe or Paul Millsap for Bron? Maybe the Tatum Celtics. I don't know. He's different in his prime. I mean, he struggled against the Grizzlies. That
The
was a team that
Grizzlies,
gave
yeah,
him
for
some
He
sure.
said that Tony Allen was the
Yeah.
toughest guy he had to deal with.
The Grizzlies gave him some trouble.
Yeah.
I
Grizzlies
think
would be the team
any
like that.
any physical teams like that, like for instance, when they're talking about the Celtics, when the Celtics swept them, they swept them based on physicality. You know what I'm saying? The Grizzlies, anybody that got somebody that's 6'5", 6'6" or under that can be physical and get up under KD, that's gonna give him trouble.
Yeah, that would be my answer. Dub host Dub Panel from Toxic Hoodie said, I only hate on KD because I believe if he went to any team besides the Warriors, he would be competing for a chip. Rockets, Spurs, Pels. Okay, but he won 2. I've never understood. Okay, I'm not gonna say I never understood. I understand, but I don't know what people's obsession with is people wanting to make their lives more difficult. I don't know why KD would go to me personally. If there's an option, a guaranteed championship or potential championship, but I could also lose.
Mars, did you ever?
Give me
did you
the
ever play,
guaranteed
did you ever,
championship. Why would I want to fight harder?
Well, because it's because of how it happened. They lost 3-1, and he's already the second best player in the world, and then he joins it was just the way it worked. I didn't care. I watched anyway, but it was just the way it went down, 100%.
I just for me, it's I've never understood people wanting people to struggle more than they do. It's like when they hate on Jason Tatum for having a good team. It's like you want him to be on a trash team, and then when he loses, you're like, oh my god, he can't carry. Why would you want to be on a worse team?
Because you want to be a competitor, Mars. You want to compete.
There's a difference between competing and making my life harder for no reason. I don't need to make my life harder for no reason. I don't need to.
Yeah, but
this is coming from a big Bron guy back at the time.
Oh,
I'm in 7th grade, 8th grade. The lunch table. Yes, I was in 7th grade when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors. Yes, I'm young.
How old is that? 13?
God dang.
Well,
13, I was 13 in 7th grade. So my lunch table agendas all went away when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors. All of them were gone. LeBron had just got his 3rd ring. I'm like, yeah, we going back to back. We going back to back. Kevin Durant ruins all of that. For all the people who are Bron fans, there are a lot bigger Bron fans than I am. All those agendas went away. You went to a team that just beat you when you were up 3-1. Now, I don't really necessarily take this into value with other situations. Like, okay, if you want to go to the best team you possibly can, or if you have a good team around you, no problem. You went to a team that just went 73-9. I'm not upset at it anymore because that's in the past. But at the time, it's like, bro, like we knew for those 2-3 seasons, we knew who was winning it all if they were healthy. We knew throughout the entire season. And that's where it's like, at that age, I'm like, you know what? I'll watch the regular season, but it's like, who cares
we already
about
knew what it
Gordon
was.
We knew the Bulls was going to win. We knew Shaq and Kobe were going to win. Like, it's not, like,
but there was some. There was a level. No, Mars.
We didn't know Shaq and Kobe was going to win. First of all, Mars.
0-2, you got it. 0-2, you got it.
We did know that. We did know that those guys were going to win, but there was a level of competition that was there. We did know that, right?
The Rockets competed with the Warriors.
Yeah, but
James Harden more.
Yeah, but
it's not about the Rockets competing more than like, can they really beat the Warriors? Can he still really beat them? And when I think about the rest of the team, when he got on that crew, I thought that the tide had shifted so much to the point where I was thinking if David Stern was around, he would have not allowed this. Even though KD was a free agent. I don't think he would have allowed it.
Chicago was going to win. We knew the Lakers were, but Michael Jordan didn't just go to Chicago. He's like, you know what? I see what Chicago's doing. They're going to the finals. They won. They're 73-9. Let me go there. You know, I just think Kevin Durant was like, you know what, man, let me make this as easy as possible. You know, I'm not finna beat Brown with Russ. You know, I'm not finna beat Brown with Russ, but I damn sure could beat him with Steph and Clay and Draymond. You know, make this a lot easier for myself. You know, let's go ahead and do that. That's what I don't.
And on top of that,
so the problem isn't the lack of competition; it's what he did to.
It's crazy, Ox.
Create the lack of competition.
John D's middle school album was Migos.
There's been many eras that didn't have that same level of
Migos, Lil Uzi, all that. That was my
Lil Yachty.
We all knew Magic Johnson and the
growing
Lakers
up
were
on
Lil
Uzi.
No one's like, oh my god, it doesn't count. Like, so the competition isn't.
And here's why that's the difference, Mars. The difference is even though we did know that they were getting out of the Western Conference because they were better than Seattle. I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, they were better than Seattle. They were better than San Antonio. They were better than Denver. No question about that. But the difference is we saw that there was a time when they weren't better than Boston. We saw them get swept by Philly. This with Jabbar, with Magic, James Worthy got hurt that year, and he was only a rookie, so he wasn't able to play. But the point that I'm making is when KD did that, the tide had shifted so much that the competition now, it was almost unfair that everybody else, we all knew that you guys were playing for second because this one thing that they have, you don't have that. When Jordan came back in 96, Mars, it wasn't overwhelming that the Bulls was winning an NBA championship. It wasn't. Well, can Jay still play? Can he still play at that level? We're not sure. Now, as time went on, we found out, okay, it's obvious that Jay still got it. He ain't Air Jordan anymore. Okay, we know that for a fact. He's not Air Jordan, but this team looks like they still could do it. But going into that season, it wasn't overwhelming that, the Bulls are the best team in the NBA. We got to find out first. Because we got this young team in Orlando that's on their way up. They're making moves. When KD jumped on that Warriors team, that shifted the tide so much that everybody was looking at the rest of the competition. San Antonio, Oklahoma City.
We
all
knew
of those
San
guys
Antonio
were done.
couldn't beat them. We knew
all of those other teams were done. That was it.
And then it made it worse that it fit like a glove.
It
fit like a glove. It fit like a glove. Like it wasn't.
It worked.
Shout out to you, John D. Shout out to you, my bro. Me and Ox was growing up on Rough Riders and Ludacris and Usher 87 on 1. Dun, dun.
I mean, I still I was still listening to that type of music. I had them car rides with my.
You dad. Remind me of
what it would be, John D. What it would be the equivalent for me. What it would be is when I was growing up, it would be Shaq getting on that 72 in 72 and 10 Bulls team. That's what it would be the equivalent to. If Shaq would have, because Shaq was a free agent that year. If Shaq would have said, "All right, I'm going to play with Jordan and Pippen,"
my gosh,
that's what it would have been.
That'd be cool.
No, it wouldn't have been Moss.
Or no,
you're a fan back then. No.
It would have been Hakeem. Hakeem went to the finals in '86. So it would have been Hakeem joined the Bulls that '93 season or something like that. Something dumb like that.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Shaq lost to the Bulls in
they got swept in the East Finals, and then Shaq jumps on the Chicago Bulls in the 96-97 season.
Look, I think that people made a deal about it because of what happened. But you know what? Who cares, dog? He made money. He got rings. He's validated. He's stamped. He's the top 14 ever player ever in my book. This just is what it is. I'm telling y'all, Chill. You ask me right now if they said Giannis, Tatum, or whatever could be handed to Denver right now, like the Lakers just got Luka. As a matter of fact, I'm less mad. I'm less mad about what KD did than Nico Harrison handing Luka Doncic to the Lakers. I can tell you for damn sure. I'd much rather somebody walk over there willingly in the American economy than collusion between two friends of 20 years. That's like me and Chill trading Mars or whatever else to just go over here. Here you go. Take it. I don't want them no more. Trash, man. I can't believe they did that nonsense. Matter of fact, I hope Giannis walks to Denver next time. I hope he does.
Oh,
I hope he does.
Yeah,
all of a
sudden,
sudden, Swiper are gonna be pushing the Giannis, the best player in the world propaganda. Crazy.
I think since you're on that subject, Mars, I think Giannis. I think he's got a player option after next season.
Every year, Giannis potentially leaving the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually do think, like, if I was Giannis, I'd leave. Like, I'll say that. If I was Giannis, I'd leave. But I'm
packing up and we moving to Denver. I'm going to play with Joker.
I don't know if that's where I would go, but
Why?
I'd go play with Luka.
That was supposed to happen in 21. Kevin Durant didn't wear a size 17 shoe.
Yeah, I'd probably go to the Lakers. Yeah, probably go to the Lakers.
Yeah, he going to the Lakers.
I could see that Giannis to the Lakers.
I don't know why y'all dudes saying that in 21. Kevin Durant, they are not winning the NBA championship that year.
Who?
Brooklyn.
What are you talking about, Joe?
Healthy.
Why do you? No, but
wait, we talking about.
They would have played the Atlanta Hawks and they would have played the Suns.
The way that they weren't winning the NBA.
Why weren't they winning? Why weren't they winning? Joe, can you give me basketball reasons, please?
I'm giving you basketball reasons why they weren't winning. So you asking me? So Kevin Durant, he's got to carry that crew because James Harden was already beat up. No Kyrie Irving.
But we're saying if they're healthy, that's what we're saying.
Okay, then we're not having this conversation. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
but no, Jill's just talking about if his foot ain't on the line, right? So you're just talking about only if his foot's not on the line.
If we're talking about, right, that's what I'm talking about.
With KD and Jeff Green,
right. If we're talking healthy, we don't need to have that conversation.
Yeah,
if we're talking healthy, then obviously the Clippers win.
I think if the Clippers and the Nets in the finals, I got the Nets, but yeah, that's the finals. I think it was meant to be.
Right.
That would have been beautiful too. Oh,
yeah,
we got some beautiful.
We got Rob. This cool. Gondek V2 said, "Who's been the best ISO scorers in the last 8 years? So since 2017. Why not Jokic? Do you guys classify a post up as an ISO?
No, it's not. It's not classified as an ISO.
Well, the Joker
it should be.
Just to give a quick plug. We've broke this down on another podcast with me and another member on this screen.
You said another man?
Another guy on the screen, another man on the screen.
Swiper, did you not get
He-
enough sleep
like,
last
come on,
night?
bro. Come on.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You ain't
what
off
he
my
said. I can
pronouns.
hear him. Go ahead, John.
Anyway, yeah, we've broken this down on another podcast. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I got Harden. I got Harden since 2017.
I've got James Harden. I don't even
Y'all know.
I don't think it's a question. I think it's very clearly James Harden. Like
right, but y'all know what's going on right now today. Chat, I wanna explain to y'all the reason Swipe is acting the way he's acting right now because he's just super excited that PC weekend was going to the All-Star game. We will be there February 14th through 16th. We touch down tomorrow. Swiper is just excited that he's about to come out to California. Y'all forgive Swiper, but make sure y'all tap in and check us out. All-Star Weekend. PC will be there in San Francisco. My flight leaves tomorrow morning. Oh shit! I should probably pack, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know.
Yeah,
I don't.
Very, very disgusting. They got me doing playback. Meanwhile, I should be preparing for my flight and stuff. But it's cool.
I just don't understand why they got me looking like Ron Johnson from Different World in that photo.
Because you do look like Ron Johnson.
I can see
look like Ron
resemblance.
Johnson.
Yes, you do.
Just because you think we're light skinned. Chill, me and you are the same color. We've already went over this. We've already went over this
1,000 times.
So I think that means there's no panel tomorrow, right?
No,
there's a panel tomorrow. We're just not going to be on it.
Nice.
So who's going to be on it?
The show do not stop, yo.
We're gonna have John D. We're gonna have Penn. We're gonna have Casual.
It might just be Ron up here by itself because Ron, y'all know Ron in the air right now.
Don't watch that shit. Don't watch that. Yeah, don't watch.
It might just be Ron.
Definitely don't watch that. If it's just Ron, yeah.
Wait, what time?
What time?
What time you getting there, Mars?
3 hours of just straight yapping.
It'll be
from Ron.
3 p.m. I think when I land. 3
What about you, Chill?
12 o'clock.
Oh, I get there like 9:30.
Wait a minute. Why am I telling you this?
I get
what are we doing?
What do you mean?
Why am I telling you this?
I just made up a time. I don't know why
Right.
you told him the real time. I just
Right.
made up a time.
No, I told him 12 o'clock. That's not really what time I get in. I just told him 12 o'clock. But with that being said, you do know that there's people out here that do not like us. This could be a security issue. You understand?
Don't like us about what? What you gonna do? Ox is 6'8".
Everybody.
Ox is
6'8". Everybody.
Look, Chill 6'4". I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm always with it. So don't worry about me.
Yo, wait a second.
I'm always with it.
Wait a second.
I'm federally approved.
Size and all that has nothing to do with
I'm federally approved. I'm always with it.
Everybody love me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody love me.
Everybody don't love me.
I'm not with
anything. I am not with anything.
Everybody doesn't love me.
I'm good. I'm good everywhere. Everybody love me.
Registered. Just know that. Just registered.
I think I'll just accept my fate. I'm being honest. I think I just accept my fate.
Yeah, man. That has nothing to do with it, man. Everybody loves me everywhere we go.
Take your hand.
But anyway, let's see if we got anything else about Kevin Durant, and then we can move on. We've been here for 2 hours about Kevin Durant.
Yes.
And right, Taserman, excuse me for being an NBA hater, but KD's team will not reach the conference finals for another year. What's the excuse? Not impressed.
Oh my gosh! Why? How is what's happening in Phoenix his fault at all? Like,
yeah, the team.
I don't think it is. But look, I'm watching them last night against the Grizzlies, and I see that's Tyus, right? Yeah, Tyus. Tyus get the ball, and you know what? I'm looking. I'm like, that should be Trae Young right there. You know, and it's not just because of the resemblance. It's just because that should be Trae, KD, and Devin Booker.
No, that KD should be freed. KD should be somewhere else, like Dallas.
Boss, this was him. He was the one who asked for this.
Oh, yeah. KD
was the one who asked to go. He was the one who asked to go.
But at what point are you a GM that you realize that KD doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to putting teams together?
Yeah, like at some point, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like
you're never at a point where
KD as a basketball player is amazing.
That's why.
Like most requests that apparently KD has put in for, which I'm not arguing against because I think the reports are probably true, haven't worked out. I don't think KD's the greatest GM. I'm not like I don't judge him for his GM abilities. So yeah, if he's bad at knowing what's best for him,
I'll say it like this. You know, I'm sure if one of us asked KD, which is very easy to do, he would probably say he had nothing to do with the decision. He trusted whatever. So I will take him at his word that he didn't have anything to do with that. But I will say the original plan to go to Phoenix and to Brooklyn, I always thought that they were just more flawed if you're trying to win a championship. Because I think playing next to, that's all I'm saying.
I think Brooklyn was going to work. Like,
yeah. Well, Harden came. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame him for Brooklyn.
Yeah, one Harden came.
Now, him co-signing Bradley Beal when he has the no trade clause. That's not great.
But front offices have to do their job.
Yes, I agree.
When LeBron
KD asked for it, so that means
when LeBron and KD, if LeBron and KD want to throw their weight around, and if I'm a GM and I'm like, okay, well that's what he want, that's your fault. That's your fault. That's how I always say. Chill. When we were talking about this before, I always say if my son wants a banana split for dinner or breakfast, it's my job to be like, bro, you don't know what's good for you. Let me be the father and you be the kid. GMs need to GM. Players need to play. Coaches need to coach.
I agree. You know I don't blame, like, same thing with like LeBron asking for Russ. I don't blame LeBron for Russ not working out, because at the end of the day, the GM should do what's best for the team, not just listen to everything their best player asks from them. That, like, you can listen to them, but that doesn't mean you just do what they say. Because
that's what I'm saying, Mark.
Then what's your job? Why are you even here?
But because that's why, the player empowerment movement has done so much for these players today, where they threaten the league. I mean, Paul George signed a contract extension and demanded out a year later. So now what this has done, now what this has done with players and GMs is, well, I don't want to lose this guy. I don't want to lose revenue. I don't want to lose the fan base. So I got to make sure that I got to make sure I adhere to everything and anything that he says, because he holds all the cards. Even though we live in a world where contracts matter. When you put your name on a contract, you are obligated by law to play here. And I don't have to trade you. When you sign this contract, we have a deal. So when Paul George signed that extension in Oklahoma City, we have a deal. I don't have to move you to the Clippers. I don't have to do that. No, we have a deal for you to play here. So what these guys have done is James in particular, when you sign in these 1 year, these 2-year deals with a 1-year option. After that, you put yourself in a position where you hold a lot of the cards. These guys are taking it a step further where they've decided, all right, I got a 4-year deal. I want out. I'm demanding out. Brooklyn didn't have to trade Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant still had 4 years left on his deal. Brooklyn could have told Kevin Durant, park your ass
No,
and
they
let us
had to
figure this
trade him.
out. No, they
had to
didn't.
trade him.
No, they did not.
Remember where things were though. Like everything was toxic around. They had to restart full. Because remember, they were asking for the owner to step down, and then the owner, instead of doing that, the way he saved face was by getting rid of everybody that was on the team, and then they just rebooted. He's still there. The same accusations and stuff are still there for the owner. It's just now it's like, well, we all forgot about that.
But wait a minute, Swiper. Maybe on some level it was Sean Marks who was the problem, who had decided that, okay, I traded for Kevin Durant, I signed Kyrie Irving, I traded for James Harden, and then I traded him away. I had Jared Allen on my team. I had Karis LeVert on my team. I was actually building something here, but then I gutted it and turned it into these two guys. And now I got to get rid of these guys because they made it, because they put it out there that now I have to get rid of them. I don't think he wanted to pay Kyrie Irving. That's why he moved on from Kyrie Irving. But Kevin Durant, on the other hand, I did not have to trade him. No.
Yeah. We got 3 more KD chats and then we can move on. One buddy said a KD episode on my birthday. That's dope. Absolutely. February 12th, 1994. Happy birthday. 31. Old as hell, but happy birthday. Then we've got where's the other one? Antoine, he's a Wizards fan. Our host Ron said GOAT KD joins his home team, winning a ring in 2027. Sure.
Washington Wizards.
Sure.
He should have went there the first time with John Wall and Bradley.
Yeah,
Beal,
a lot of
but-
people. I remember that offseason they were talking about the Wizards. The Wizards were I think the favorites. Like
I was 100% certain he was going to play with them.
I didn't think he was going to the Warriors. Then he did. I was like, oh, nice. NP13. People gotta be thankful KD went to the Warriors and he didn't link up with Prime Kawhi. I'm taking that team over everyone, and Kawhi avoids Zaza.
With
Spurs. Yeah, for the Spurs. That was because it was talking about the Spurs.
If Prime Kawhi's not even better than Jason Tatum.
Oh wow! So, but I remember at the time they were talking about the Celtics, the Spurs, and the Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the 3 main teams, if I'm not mistaken, that they thought he was going to go to.
I think
Spurs. Would they have kept LaMarcus Aldridge that year?
He was leaving anyway.
I don't know the financial.
Well, he was on the team at 16, 17 years.
Oh wait! I thought you meant the Trailblazers. Yeah. He had just got on with the Spurs. He got on with the Spurs because he was going to be the extension of what Duncan was. That's why he went there.
And then they would have had room for KD that year too.
I'd assume
the
so,
TV deal.
I couldn't tell you the 20s. Yeah, the salary cap spike.
Why can't that happen now? That's so dumb. Why can't we just get $50 million in space?
Because the viewership's down. League
no, it's up actually.
Viewership's down. League sets. Too many threes.
It's a myth.
Too many threes. Okay, now that we're done with Kevin Durant,
we can talk about what really is important.
Oh, what Alex Len? No, what we're going to talk about is the super chats. Teddy Hart, OKC has to consolidate this offseason. Draft picks aside, our backcourt alone already has 7 starter level guys. SGA, AJ Mitchell, Nikola Topic, Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, and Kayson Wallace. Chill hates this, but we can't keep them all. Make a package for KD this offseason. I would go inquire about Kevin Durant if I was the Thunder.
Would you at least pick up the phone?
Yeah, I'd inquire and see what they ask. If they ask
as
long as or Shea, then we just say no.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say, because SGA is obviously completely off the table, but they got to understand that J-Dub and Chet are off the table too. So if they can do that without moving any of those two, I would do it.
They would.
I think for teams with no picks, though, the main priority in a trade would be picks, because at the end of the day, it's like we get to make the decision on who's the guy that's best for leading our franchise over the next few seasons. So honestly, if I'm Phoenix and I'm really trying to get off KD, we don't make the playoffs this season, and in the offseason, I can still move Devin Booker, I can still move KD. Give me Topic, give me some picks, throw in Kayson. I'm cool.
I mean,
I would just inquire.
You would have to give me picks.
I'm getting Kayson. I'm getting Aaron Wiggins. I'm probably going to get Isaiah Joe, and I'm probably going to get at least 5 first-round picks, or whatever. And then, but That's fine. That's perfectly fine haul. And then if you trade Devin Booker, you probably get more because he's younger, depending on the situation or whatever.
Send him
Yeah,
to
Houston will
get
give you your picks
back.
back. Houston's will give you.
Send him to Houston, get your. Now you got a boatload.
You ain't get Cam Whitmore.
Yeah,
And
boatload
then
of
you
picks. You get some young players from Houston.
Reed Shepard too. They don't want Reed. At that point, you don't need Reed Shepard anymore. So give me.
you got
way
three
better
young
spot than
guards.
you're in right now. So I would definitely look into it if I was OKC. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. If OKC win a chip,
real quick before we move on, Mars, how do you feel about Reed Shepard and Topic? Like, would you hand him over for Topic?
Wait, what?
The top 3 protected top 3 projected pick in the draft. Topic, 6'6", good shooting form. Topic, good playmaker, defensive upside. Topic.
That's optimistic. I don't know. Probably, I think Topic was a better prospect, like substantially. But I don't know. The shot was questionable to me. The in between game, and he was listed at 6'6", but his arms are so short. He looked tiny. So I probably would. If I'm being honest. But
all right,
I don't know. Yeah, but I probably would. Hjalmar Skeet Nielsen, wherever he's from with the DKK currency. In honor of mine and Bill Russell's birthday, the GOAT, who are the best defenders of all time at different positions, and why is Russell clearly number 1? And MJ is not in the convo for wings. There's 5 of us up here. I'm going to go each position. We're all going to name the best defender at that position. So I'm going to start with John D, who's the best point guard defender of all time.
I'm going to go Jason.
It's just simple.
Okay. Yeah, he said Jason Kidd. Yeah, he said the right answer.
Okay, there we go.
Ox, best shooting guard defender.
Best shooting guard defender. Probably Jordan. Or no.
You was right.
No.
I was going to be something.
The
because there is Tony Allen.
Yeah, he played shooting guard. Yeah,
Tony Allen wasn't the
Tony
better
Allen.
Joe Dumas.
Yes, he was. Please,
No,
please.
Joe Dumas.
No, he wasn't.
Get that off.
Joe Dumas.
No, he
Get
wasn't.
that off my
No, he
porch.
wasn't.
What about Moncrief?
Get that off my
There's Moncrief. There's Moncrief.
City Moncrief.
There's Moncrief. There's Moncrief. Tony Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan. I'm gonna go with Tony Allen though. I'm gonna go with Tony Allen.
Thank you.
Interesting. Chill. Small forwards.
Scottie Pippen.
That was so easy.
Swiper, power forward.
Man, that's crazy. So you got Charles Barkley, Dirk, Karl Malone.
I can't believe it. Hey, I'm sorry.
Why
I'm
do that?
sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. It was a reflex. I'm sorry.
We're trying to be serious. We're trying to be serious up here.
Well,
Swiper, who's the best in your estimate?
Chill. We all know what the answer is. Let's say I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1. All 5 of us are gonna say the same answer because we know who it is.
Okay.
No,
3.
no.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Kevin
KG.
Durant.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, KG.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I
Yeah,
took
we got it.
Chill, you didn't even participate.
Duncan, I'm sorry.
I said Duncan.
Yeah, I said Duncan.
Okay,
We
Johnny
actually,
and Chill got it wrong.
me and John D actually did this on our
Sure did. Sure
I
did.
had Kevin Garnett over Tim Duncan, so
I had
I'm
Tim
staying
Duncan.
consistent. Someone said Anthony Davis, so not bad. And center is Bill Russell. It's not even close. For me, Russell is clearly not only the best defensive center of all time, the best defensive player of all time. And a large part of it is because of the era in which he played in. When there's no 3-point line, that makes rim protection more valuable than it ever could be in any other era.
The space is different.
Because teams need to get to the rim to score. And Bill Russell was not only the best rim protector of his era, I think he's the best rim protector of all time. Alongside being able to close possessions at an insane rate as a defensive rebounder, he also had a level of mobility and switchability during that era that was the best in the league. He legitimately could guard 1 through 5. Now, obviously, the caveat is you're guarding 1 through 5 and you're just sending them left. But he could guard 1 through 5. So I just don't. He had no holes in his defensive game, and he played in an era in which his biggest strength defensively was more valuable than it ever could.
Is Kevin Garnett the closest thing
Any
to
other
Bill in terms of that since then? Because I'm trying to think. Right now in the league, Bam would probably be the closest. He just doesn't have the top end defensive talent.
He doesn't have the top end rim protection that Bill Russell did. KG, yeah, KG, a prime Anthony Davis.
Y'all,
Dennis
in a
Rodman
couple of
to a
years,
lesser-
Evan Mobley gonna
Ben
be in that
Wallace.
conversation.
Ben Wallace would be one I'd consider.
He's not ever going to get the love, but Theo Ratliff is an incredible defender of his era. He's never going to get the love though because He wasn't the name brand, but Theo Riders was incredible.
He was. Yeah, he was. But yeah, Bill Russell was very far the best defender ever. Too.
The close. I want to make sure I'm understanding you, Marlon. I know we got to get going, but the closest to Bill Russell in terms of versatility, is that what we're talking about?
The entire defense,
athleticism, rim protection,
the whole.
Yeah, so like being able to switch guard 1-3-5, protect the rim, rebound at an elite rate, and then be one of, if not the best rim protectors in the game. Like, I think it probably is. Maybe it's probably KG or Ben Wallace. I think is probably the answer. If I'm being honest, I think it's Ben Wallace. I'm
gonna say this right now. If it was not for Victor Wembanyama, Evan Mobley as a defensive guy would get a lot more love. I think his versatility, his strength to be able to guard stronger wings and be able to protect the post and play post defense the way he does.
Are you guys nuts? Am I losing my mind up here? What the hell is going on? The defensive player of the year is named after the best defensive player of all time. What are we doing?
That's because they're not naming 2 trophies after Bill Russell. That's the only reason. That's literally the only reason. If the Finals MVP wasn't named after Bill Russell, the defensive player of the year would be named after Bill Russell. They're just not going to name 2 awards after him. That's literally the only reason. Like,
sure. Why do you? Yeah, I didn't know you were not on this side. You think somebody's better than Bill Russell?
I think Hakeem is the best defensive player in NBA history.
I think it's so obvious. I think it's so obviously Hakeem Olajuwon.
No, but I don't mind. I don't mind Mars.
It doesn't make sense. Like,
yeah, I don't mind Mars just saying that Bill Russell is the best defensive player in
he would be the GOAT for you then. If that was
that's my issue. Because you have James Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell.
Sure.
If Hakeem is better on defense than Bill Russell, he's obviously better on offense than Bill Russell. How the hell is Bill Russell better than?
But you also think, and you think Hakeem is a GOAT offensive player too. So like that's what I don't understand.
I do think he's a GOAT offensive player, but I don't think
that doesn't make sense.
I don't think he is the GOAT offensive player.
So if you think he's a top 5 offensive player ever,
I don't think he's a top 5 offensive player ever.
I think he's a top 10 offensive player ever and the best defender ever. So again. I don't think he was a better offense. I don't think he was a better. You think he's top 10? You think he's top 10, 15?
I'm going off this right now. I don't think he was a better offensive player than the guys that I had. The guys that I have in my top 10. I don't think he was a better offensive player than James. I don't think he was a better offensive player than Jordan or Jabbar or Chamberlain or Russell. And he was a better scorer than Russell. I will give you that 100%. He was definitely a better scorer than him. I won't argue that part. But he wasn't a better offensive player than Bird. He wasn't a better offensive player than Magic. Duncan, we could have a conversation about that, but that's it. That's it. He was a better scorer than him.
Wait.
We need the clip. You think Bill Russell
is a
better offensive player than Hakeem Olajuwon?
I think Bill Russell was I think he was a better offensive player than Hakeem Olajuwon. I think Hakeem Olajuwon was a better scorer than Bill Russell. Yes, I do.
So your logic makes no sense.
Is that not one of the wildest takes we've heard on this panel?
Really? You can't be. You could be a better scorer than somebody and then be a better offensive player than you.
What does Bill Russell do that's so significant that makes him the better offensive player?
Bill Russell was great. Bill Russell was.
That's what I'm saying. Never argue Will or Bill Russell anymore. I mean, because at this point we're not even in reality. Like I have never heard in my life.
Because Bill you Russell never heard it.
I'm telling you from multiple. If I asked 100 basketball minds around your age, I can't tell you, including my own blood, any of them that would have ever said to me at casual or expert level NBA watching that Bill Russell was anything close to any of those other players offensively ever. And on top of that, to think that Hakeem Olajuwon isn't a clear better offensive player than William Russell.
He was a better scorer.
He was a better passer, better scorer, better post scorer, better shooter, better mid-range shooter, all of it. Across the board.
He's not a better passer than Bill Russell. That's fine. He's not a better passer than Bill Russell.
Okay.
Still, I didn't know that it was possible to think that Bill Russell was better than Hakeem on offense. But hey,
what doesn't make sense about your logic, Chill, if you believe that he's a top 15 offensive player ever, let me ask you this directly, because this is the problem you're going to run into. So Hakeem Olajuwon, here, let me ask you a question.
What you're trying to do is
I'm not. I don't know who you F word. It ain't me. No, it ain't me. So this is the thing.
Are you trying to put words in my mouth?
Do you think I'm asking you questions?
As Hakeem Olajuwon, as awesome as an offensive player, as awesome as a scorer that he was, there were better overall offensive players than him. I think Hakeem Olajuwon's a top 10 player.
Okay,
of all
okay,
time.
I'm asking you.
100%.
Okay,
He
answer
wasn't
this
better
question.
than Chamberlain, though.
You think
He
he's
was not.
better? You think he's the best defensive player ever? Cool. You also have told me at the same time you think he is as good offensively as Nikola Jokic is right now. You've said
I never
this.
told you that. I told you he was a better scorer than him. I never told you that. That is not true. I didn't tell you that.
Okay, so one of the best playoff scorers ever. He's a better scorer than sure. And on top of that being the GOAT defender, you realize that's the best player ever. No one else would come close to him. That's the best player of all time.
I think he's a
Ever.
top 10 player of all time.
No, I said best ever. Better than Jordan.
So
better
I want
than
to make
LeBron.
So I want to make sure that I'm understanding. So by my logic, which I think it's great. So by my logic, I think Hakeem Olajuwon is the best defensive player in NBA history. With him being the best defensive player in NBA history, he's for you to put words in my mouth, because I don't think he's a top 5 offensive player of all time, but I think he's a top 5 offensive player. He's a top 5. He's a top 5
top 15. You named 8 names.
So
you named 8 names.
That means as a two-way player, we would be just going off the logic of him just being a basketball player. That's what we would go off of. We would just go off of his skill set and him being a basketball player, that he's the best player ever. We're not talking about what he produced. We're not talking about how long he did it. We're not talking about where he did it. We're not talking about what he did. We're not talking about any of that. We're just talking about what he is as a basketball player. He's the best basketball player of all time. I don't think that, though. And I don't go off of it like that.
But you realize
I don't.
But you realize that if you're saying somebody's a GOAT defender, too, I just want you to understand this, the context. The GOAT defender being a top, let's just say, I'm saying conservative side, top 25 offensive player ever. So that means like we're getting to, let's say, Malone at 25, whatever it is. If he's
there's plenty of guys. I think Larry Bird is one of the best offensive players of all time.
Yeah, sure. But
100%. I think Larry Bird is one of the better team defenders. I don't think he's a top 10 team defender, but I think he's one of the better team defenders.
I think you can make an argument conversation.
I think Chamberlain is one of the best offensive players. I think Chamberlain is one of the best defensive players. Do I think Chamberlain is the best player of all time? No, because there's other things that come into it. There's other things that come in. It's not just the gap between GOAT if you just being a basketball player, if you just being a basketball player is it, then we got to talk about a whole bunch of other guys just being basketball players. We got to talk about Tracy McGrady. We got to talk about a bunch of other players. But
no, they're being a GOAT defender, chill, in your sport, like being the most transcendent defensive talent in the sport, and also being, again, I'm saying conservatively, a top 20 player in the sport. That's never happened. It's never happened. Like that would be like saying like Wayne Gretzky in NHL was the best scorer. He was the best scorer and the best playmaker in the NHL for 10 straight years.
The reason why that's not true, Swiper, is because if we just went off of these guys and their skill set, because that's what you're saying, what these guys produced matters. And I don't just go off of you just being a basketball player, you being a defender, you being a great defender, what it looks like, how it translates. Okay, that's great. You being a great offensive player, you being a great scorer. Okay, what did you do with that? How far did you go with that? It's not just, you were super athletic, you were super nice with the peel. What did that end up translating to? That's what I care about.
How is Hakeem a worse offensive player than Bill Russell? I don't care about the all-time.
Okay, maybe I went a bit too far with Hakeem and Bill Russell as offensive players. All right, sure. Okay, maybe I went a bit too far with that. No problem. But what you're not talking me off of is Hakeem Olajuwon. I think he's the best defensive player in NBA history. I think he's one of the best offensive players in history. But with him being both of these, there are things that he did not do, which could have made him the GOAT if he did do those things. So that's all I have to say about it.
I just don't get how you can be better on offense and defense than someone and be worse than them. That's a foreign concept to me. I don't think that applies to any player ever. How can you be better on both sides of the ball than me?
So if you're better, if you are, because you've said it to me in the past, Mars, if you average more points than I do, does that make you a better scorer than me?
No.
Right. So if you are better if you're better as an offensive player, okay, what did that produce? Because Bill Russell, what he produced, in addition to him being a great offensive player, was more than what Hakeem Olajuwon did.
What did he produce offensively?
And on bigger stages, he produced that. Produced more when he was winning.
He won.
What's-
He did not win more because of his offense.
Averaging 20 a game in the playoffs during that
Okay.
time for
Okay,
4
first of
straight
all,
years.
No. Bill Russell averaged 20 in the playoffs twice in 62 and 63.
In 4 years,
but-
average out those 4 years, Mars. What does it average out to?
What, from 60 to 63? Let's look.
Average out the 4
From
years that I
60
talked
to
about.
63, his average in the playoffs was 20 points per game.
There you go. He averaged 20 in a
Yeah,
game.
which is amazing, but we've already gone through the fact they played 130 possessions a game.
Okay,
20
so
a game. 20 a game playing 130 possessions is not the same as averaging 27 playing 85 possessions. It's just not
Sure.
the same. You're playing 40 more possessions and still scoring less than me. Not to mention Bill Russell was an average efficiency scorer or slightly above. So the scoring, like even 20 points per game, like it's just not the same thing.
I didn't say
trying
that
to equate
Olajuwon
it as the
was-
same thing is not like that's not.
And I didn't say that Olajuwon was. I didn't say that Olajuwon was. Russell was a better
But what
scorer
did
than
Bill
Olajuwon. I
produce
didn't say that.
offensively that make like because you're telling
Those 20.
First you started with Bill Russell was better than Hakeem offensively. Now you're saying maybe you went a bit too far.
I did.
So which one is it? Is he better or is he not?
No.
Okay, he's not better. Okay, cool. So Hakeem is better on offense and on defense.
And what
I
did he
need-
produce?
I need you to give me one player who's better on both sides of the ball than someone who is worse than that player. Just one other example where he's better on offense and defense, but he's worse than the other guy. One
Let me
example.
think. Let me think of a guy who's better on both sides of the ball, but that guy is better.
Because that like that just doesn't. I hope everyone else understands what I'm saying, right? Like,
Let me think about that for a second. Who on both sides of the basketball, both offensive and defense, offensively?
I think you should just go to the
From a
top. Chill.
skill
Do you think Giannis, Anthony Davis, Victor Wembanyama, do you think they're better offensive players than Luka?
No.
Okay, just modern era.
Let's see. I would have to think about that because I'm sure I could come up with somebody that's better on offense and defense than another player, but that other player still produced more and was better. I'm pretty confident that I could come up with somebody.
I don't get how Bill Russell produced more, like offensively. Like, I don't get it. But okay.
I didn't say he produced more offensively, Mars. That's not what I said. That's not what I said at all.
So how can it? But Bill Russell, the reason Bill Russell produced what he did in terms of the championships and all that stuff is because of his defense. So
And
how
his
is the
offense
defense-
too. And his
No,
offense
the
too.
Boston Celtics offense sucked. It was terrible.
So how were they scoring, Mars?
They were the best
they
defense
weren't
ever by a
as
man.
good as their defense was. They weren't winning games 50-40. No, they weren't.
Because the pace
So
was
you're-
so high, they scored.
So what? The pace was high. What difference
That's
does that
how
make?
they scored. They didn't score because they were a good
getting
offense.
30 in games. I still was getting 22 or 25 in games. That was
What's
going
up?
on. He still was doing that. It wasn't like Bill Russell was getting 7 or 12 or 8. No, I was getting. I mean, he still holds the record today for the most points and rebounds in Game 7 in the NBA Finals. 30 and 40. That's still going on.
The Boston
So what I'm saying is many
did not win because of their offense.
Chill, but if you
That's not an
normalize
opinion. The
if you
Boston
normalize
Celtics-
their numbers
the
though,
Boston
like
Celtics won in spite of their offense. Their defense, like I need to make this as clear as
You can't do that. That's not
Yeah,
true,
no,
Mars.
I need to make this
No.
as clear as I possibly can.
You can't
the
do
Boston
that. I don't buy
Celtics-
that at all.
The Boston Celtics were so dominant defensively, they would have the worst offensive rating in the NBA and would still have the best net rating. They were so far ahead of the league defensively, they had the worst offense in the NBA, and they were still the best team in terms of net
They
rating.
weren't winning games
in
30
the
to
league.
20. They weren't doing that.
but
That
chill.
wasn't
But I'm
going on.
looking
They
at the
still
numbers
were
now.
scoring
If you
basketball.
normalize his numbers, he
They still
never
were scoring.
crossed.
They still were
If you play
scoring.
He never even crossed
135
18
possessions
points a game.
Of course, you're going to score points. If you play 135 possessions a game,
And that's the point.
of course you're not going to score 30 points. No shit. Like, that's not saying anything. They put up points because the pace was so fast, they were going to score points. But
But
their
you're using that
offense
against
was
him. The fact that they
worst in
played
the NBA.
fast. But you don't do that with other guys, Mars. I mean, the Phoenix Suns played.
I account for pace with every
The
single
Phoenix
player.
Suns played
I account for
the
pace.
7 seconds
Yeah,
or less offense as
But they
fast
still
as
had
that
the most
offense
efficient
was.
offense per possession. They still had the most efficient offense per possession.
100%.
Adjusting for pace is fine, but per possession they still had the best offense. So
And that was
I
because of
adjust
Steve Nash,
everything
right?
I
And
do,
that
I
was
adjust for
that
pace.
was
I'm
because of Steve
comparing
Nash.
teams, I adjust for pace. When I compare teams, I adjust for pace. I don't just use, he averaged 20 and ignore the fact that one player is playing 100 possessions, the other one's playing 70. I always talk about adjusting for pace. That's why I say per 75 possessions when I talk about players. I'll be like, this guy averaged this per 75. I adjust for pace. I'm factoring in that into the equation.
Yeah,
what
I'm
I'm
looking at it
saying is the Boston Celtics dynasty was in spite of their offense being bad.
That's incredible for me to believe.
They were
that.
so good defensively.
This team was so
They
bad.
were so good defensively. They were still able to destroy teams because they were so dominant at stopping the other team from scoring. It didn't matter that they were this inefficient scoring, that Bill Russell was a league average efficiency, that they didn't really have a half-court offense that was tenable and could score against other teams because they were so good defensively because of Bill Russell that it didn't matter. They led the league in net rating every single year while being in the bottom 3 on offense every single year. 1961, they were bottom of the league on offense. They were top of the league in defense. They had the best net rating in the NBA.
Incredible.
1962, they were bottom 3.
I already know what the numbers, Mars. I don't have to read the numbers. Yes, I do. I do know what the numbers are. Yes, I do. I know in 1964. I know in 1964 that the Boston Celtics had arguably the best defense in NBA history. I know that the Boston Celtics in 19
where did they rank offense in 64?
I think they were third to last that year.
No, they were last. Dead last. And guess what they had? The best net rating in the NBA. That's 100%. How much they dominated defensively.
Now, let me ask you this question: with them dominating defensively, do you think that their defense has something to do with them creating offense? Is that fair?
For sure, Bill Russell being able to spark fast breaks.
So why don't we factor that in? The fact that their defense can create. Why don't we factor that in? Now, when you want to talk about
absolutely factor in Bill Russell being a pioneer of transition offense. Cool, factor that in. All I've argued is that Bill Russell won, not Bill Russell, the Celtics and Bill Russell won in spite of the fact their offense was bad. And B, if the Celtics were so dominant defensively that they were able to win while having the worst offense in the NBA, how on earth is Hakeem better than Bill Russell on defense? They created a dynasty strictly off the back of defense that was strictly off the back of Bill Russell. How is Hakeem better than him on defense when he has no indicators that reflect that same level of impact that Bill Russell had? Bill Russell was leading the best net rating in the NBA solely because of the fact they had the best defense ever. How is Hakeem a better defender than him? How? He has nothing that represents that level of impact. So what's the argument that makes Hakeem a better defender than Bill Russell if nothing points to that?
Well, first of all, when Hakeem Olajuwon got on the Houston Rockets, they weren't a good defense. When he got on the Houston Rockets, they became a much better defense. And what we're not going to do, Mars, is you telling me about Bill Russell getting on that Boston Celtics team like he was the only defender that they had. They had other guys who defended on that team. Sam Jones was a good defender. They had other guys who defended on that team. And on top of that, when Hakeem Olajuwon was in Houston, he had Rodney McCray, who was the only all-league defender that he ever had. Meanwhile, this team that he was on was number 1 in the league in defense multiple times, even when they were winning NBA championships. How he elevated a team that was okay to being a top 5 defense. Just because we go from being a good defense to a great defense, which was what Bill Russell was doing with that Boston Celtic team when they were winning the NBA, when they started winning the NBA championship, because he was the difference. Hakeem Olajuwon, when he was on that Houston Rockets team, they weren't very good at all defensively. He gets on that crew. Now they become a top 5 defense, and they get elevated from a top 5 defense to the best defense in the league because of his versatility, because of his rim protection, because of his transition defense, because of his ability to rim protect, because of all of these things. And that elevates the rest of those guys who were less than before Hakeem Olajuwon got on the crew. And everything that he does individually as a defender, enhanced that Rockets team, which allowed them to now win at a high level. That's why I think he's the best defensive player in NBA history.
The year before Bill Russell arrived, the Celtics were bottom 3 in defense. He arrived, they were number 1 by a substantial margin. The year Bill Russell retired, they were number 1 in defense. The year he leaves, they fall all the way down to 8th out of 14, so middle of the pack in defense.
Yep.
That the defense started, the dominance on defense started with Bill Russell and ended the year right after he left.
You can say the same thing.
The same thing for Hakeem. That's the same argument you just made. And the difference is, in between that, during the Bill Russell years, the Celtics dominated in a way defensively that Hakeem's teams never did. And they did it for 10 years in a way Hakeem's teams never did. So just the same way you argue for Hakeem, the defense sucked before him and they became really good with him. Same thing with Bill Russell. They sucked before him and then they became the best defense ever with him. And then he left and they were bad again. So even that argument, Bill Russell still comes out on top. So how is Bill Russell not better defensively than Hakeem?
Hakeem Olajuwon still bigger. I think he's a better rim, bigger. Still think he's a better rim protector. I still think he was more. I still think he was more versatile. Don't forget that they didn't count blocks back then. And I understand that maybe Bill Russell would have been. It would have shown up on the stat sheet more. But Hakeem Olajuwon, more versatile, bigger. Feel like he was a better one-on-one defender in the post. He doesn't have anybody on his resume who dominated him like Wilt Chamberlain dominated Bill Russell. Wilt Chamberlain averaged almost 30 and 30 a game.
Finals. We're not bringing it up. I'm sorry, my bad.
We can bring it up, sure. We can absolutely bring it up. So Hakeem Olajuwon doesn't have anybody who dominated him at his position like Wilt Chamberlain dominated Bill Russell at his position. He does not have that at all. However, Hakeem Olajuwon does, as a defender, show that he's dominated everybody else at his position and slowed other guys down, as opposed to what Bill Russell did with Wilt Chamberlain.
Sure. Super chats. Let's do it. Avery B said Mars hosting super chats will be read on time. LOL. I tried, but then we got into a tangent, so we'll see.
We still here.
Yeah. Drip Baylor said, besides the Wolves, what contender could acquire Trey as an upgrade? Small volume shooter with bad defense doesn't translate to wins. Ox suggested the Suns.
I don't hate the Suns.
I wanted him in San Antonio with Wemby.
I think if the Mavericks had him, if the Mavericks had him instead of Kyrie, they'd be better.
Excuse me.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens with Trey in Atlanta. Rod said dub tanking by the Bulls last night. Flag on the way.
71-29.
71-29 is crazy. I think they play them. I think they play again tonight. The Pistons and the Bulls. So we'll see if the Bulls come out a bit better. The Trib one said Lakers in 6. Hate the Len pickup, but we got Luka. Yeah, we didn't talk about it. I wanted to bring that up when Ox was here to talk about Alex Len. But any of you guys moved by Alex Len? Is he the savior of the Lakers?
He's a body.
Good rebounder.
Is what we need right now.
He's a body. Yeah, he is a body. I agree.
I think an immobile big with a couple. Yeah, I think they're not going to win any minutes with him in the playoffs more than likely. But when they go,
could they lose minutes with him?
Yeah, 100%. Depends on who they play though. Not versus the Rockets. I think they're going to smack the Rockets. I'm already predicting 4 or 5 if they make it. If the Rockets are still 5 by then, and I think there might be a 4-1 series.
They're going to play a lot of small ball. I think the Lakers just going to go small a lot.
Dorian
Jackson Hayes will probably play a lot, but they'll probably play Dorian, Vando, Luka, Braun, and Reeves or something. I don't know.
Dorian and Vando probably be their best bet versus that team. I hope they do that too. They can't do that versus they can do it. They could probably get away with that depending on the matchup versus the Thunder. But that's still going to be up to Luka and Braun. They're going to have to shoot the lights out. And so will Austin Reeves to stay in that series.
Yeah.
Fent Jones said, I remember AI and Melo putting 168 on them Sonics, the KD Sonics, so KD's rookie year. Life in marvelous times. You remember that game, Swiper?
I remember Melo hitting a game winner on the Sonics on the left baseline. So I do.
Did Paul Pierce hit a game winner on the Sonics?
Paul Pierce make a game winner?
Yeah, you're not even clutch for real. Yeah. Lee Mack, I've always valued a player's ability to get into another player's head and felt it was a skill not mentioned. It seems Jordan and Bird were best at that. Any others?
Yeah, Larry.
He said Jordan and Bird. But
yeah.
I don't
Dennis Rodman.
I don't know when someone's in someone's head. Like,
Charles Oakley.
Bruce Brown in D'Lo's head, apparently.
Yeah, Ron Artest.
I never really valued that.
Draymond.
I think the quiet ones are the dangerous ones.
Yeah,
the ones that don't say anything.
Yeah, those were the guys that I really dug, like Joe Dumas. Like
Tim Duncan.
I'm not going to say a word to you. No.
I feel it's more. I think it's more of a detriment if you allow people to get in your head more than it's a praise to the people who get into people's head. Yeah. I just don't think you should let people get into your head.
Well,
so I just think that says more about you than it says about them.
But it's a natural thing, though, Mars. Like as somebody who's played sports their whole life, it's bound to be a matchup where someone is just yapping at you constantly. And if they're also a difficult matchup for you, you just put that together. It's just like you get frustrated internally, or you try to get more determined to make a stop. But I think that's where.
I understand it. I just think it says more about you than it says about that person. That's what I'm saying. I understand how it happens. I just think if you're allowing people to get into your heads, I think that just says more about you.
Like when she'll just drop the F-bomb just 3 minutes ago. Go ahead.
Because all you do is talk over me and yell at me. That's why.
I was trying to
Yeah,
ask
you're
you a
being
question.
mean, Sniper.
It's so disrespectful. It is. We
I
can have a
wasn't-
conversation.
I was
we can have a
talking-
conversation and have a basketball conversation without you yelling at me and being
I wasn't.
condescending.
I said
You do
how.
that to me all the time.
I was asking how
You
it
do
made
that all the
sense.
time.
I was asking how
And
it
I'm
made
sick
sense.
of that shit from you.
It didn't make any sense. That's what I was trying to
Sniper, you're
understand.
being a bad best friend. I'm gonna be
You're
honest.
right.
You're being a bad best friend.
I am.
Like your friend is talking to you, and then you're not even taking it
Well,
seriously.
to be fair, I was actually still talking, and then she'll start yapping. But shout out. I get it. I understand.
You guys need to sort that out behind the scenes, man. I don't want you guys having animosity when I see you guys. Superman rule. You guys got to pick Bobby Portis more fouls and Lopez, Brook Lopez, rebounds less. Brook Lopez is done. I just want to put that.
Yeah, he's
He
on.
looks slow, doesn't he? Like, he
Yeah,
look
he's
like he got a
done.
piano on his back.
Yeah,
I swear.
he's done.
He
Like,
does.
it's
He's
over. It's
37,
over.
so it makes sense. 36, 37.
Yeah.
3-man weave said Noah Sarlov today. Yeah, I want to say he's looking really good. Like the last week or so, he's looked amazing. Like offensively, playmaking more, doing more with the ball in his hands, really using his athletic tools to his advantage, getting to the rim and stuff. And defensively, if he hit the game threshold, which he's not going to because he missed so much at the start of the season, I think he'd be on an all defensive team as well. He's amazing on defense. Like obviously, I think it goes without saying, but he is amazing on one of the best wing defenders in the NBA. So yeah, Asar is great. If he ever figures out the jump shot, but shout out to Asar Thompson, man. He's looking really good recently. We'll see if he plays tonight, how he looks. Jules, what are you guys' thoughts on the report coming out that the Mavericks' first target for the Luka trade was asking the Timberwolves for Ant? The Wolves said no. Was that a bad move by the Wolves?
I wonder how they kept this quiet, yo. I do, because I heard about Giannis too. I wonder how they kept that quiet.
Would you
Do you think it was a quick conversation like, hey, Mars, is Giannis available? No, click. Hey, Mars, is Anthony Edwards available? No, click. Was it something that simple, or was it more to it than that?
I mean,
I would have made that trade.
with Giannis, I mean, I'm pretty confident the Bucks aren't moving him, so I think that was probably simple. If I was the Timberwolves, I'll say that if I was the Timberwolves, A, I would have said yes. But B, if I was saying no, I still would be open to negotiations. But for me, declining Luka for Anthony Edwards is insane. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't see why you would say no to that. But the Timberwolves, I guess, see something Anthony Edwards I don't see. I don't think Anthony Edwards will ever be as good as Luka is right now. So I just don't see why you'd say no to that. But shout out to the Timberwolves, I guess. If they end up right and the Timberwolves win a chip this year, they can laugh and be like, haha. But
right,
I don't see it personally. I don't.
Luka with Nall, Jaden, and Randall, get him out of here. Naz Reid and Rudy Gobert. Luka and Rudy
might be able to make Rudy viable on offense. Man,
the best defensive player and top 3 offensive player in the sport.
Rudy Gobert really Bill Russell for him. A Shun said, "What did I think about Bobo last night?" I think it's cool he got minutes. The Suns suck, but Bobo gave some solid minutes.
I got roasted when I thought that they were going to be a bad team this year. I got roasted for that.
And look at you now, right?
I think there's only 7 good teams in the East, and everybody else is like trying to stay out the playoffs.
I think he shot too many threes, but like, I think Bobo was cool. I think Bobo was good. I think KD was good. I don't think D-Book had a great game. I think Tyus Jones sucks. I think Nick Richards sucks. I think
he doesn't suck. Nick Richards doesn't suck. He's in a.
Oh no, yeah, I disagree with you. I think he sucks. I think Ty Washington sucks.
He's just small.
Sucks. I think Mason Plumlee sucks. I like Grayson. I like Royce O'Neal.
Shout out.
I think the Suns have like 4 players. I think are solid. Everyone else I just think just sucks. So yeah, but shout out to Bobo. Shane Smith sent an empty super chat. Shout out to Shane Smith.
Thank you.
Alan R said, "Does Reeves have the best contracts in the NBA?" I think he's making like
12
million. Yeah, considering it's an extension as well, so it's not like it's a rookie deal. I'd like to think, I don't think anyone's providing as much value as us. Like Jada was making 5 mil, but he's getting extended, so it's not the same. So I do think Austin Reeves probably does have the best contracts in the NBA. He's been playing like an all-star caliber player. So
Kyle Kuzma got a pretty good contract too. I think his deal is up at. No, he signed an extension for $100 million. So I think they got him on a.
Kyle Kuzma airballed a free throw the other day.
Yeah, he did.
Shout out to Kyle Kuzma. He sucks. NP13 said, Mars, do not start trolling with that Jason Tatum versus Prime Kawhi nonsense. I'm so over this BS on the timeline. People say stuff like that, and then I'm the Tatum hater when I respond to it. I know how Swiper feels because I've seen it because of Swiper. I'm confident I know how John D feels. Chill. Is Jason Tatum better than Prime Kawhi?
No.
Okay. See, even Chill doesn't agree. So Boston fans, lock in. If Chill, the biggest Tatum fan, doesn't agree with that,
He is not better than. No, he's not.
there we go. Teddy Hart sent a lot of super chats today. Said Wilt's like a grown man hooping at a local middle school.
We were talking about scorers and the level of impact that scorers have.
I still think Jerry West was a better scorer, but yeah, Wilt did look like a man amongst boys, really. When you watch him, just bigger than everyone, faster than everyone, stronger than everyone, leaping over everyone. No offensive goaltends, so he's just catching his teammates' shots and dunking them in. A very weird player. Shout out to Will Chamberlain. Fresh boy swag. KD episode with no Dell. At least we got bold Swiper though.
Shut up.
Dell's not the only one who could talk about KD. I think KD got some love today. It's a very rare occasion that he gets love.
2 hours.
He spent 2 hours on KD.
Yeah, exactly.
In a good way, too. Like, no slander.
Exactly. The only thing we got to was kind of the Warriors move, but we had to spoke about it for like 5 minutes.
Right.
B True said at the All-Star break, the Sixers need to evaluate Joel's knee. If he needs a surgery, they need to do it. Doubt it happens being so close to the play-in. I keep saying it. He shouldn't have played this season. I'm watching him. He shouldn't be out on the court. Like, he's so sluggish, so slow. Now, I'm not excusing the turnover he had in the clutch last night. That was just being stupid.
I mean,
but
that's such a wide open play though. Like you're bound to make mistakes in situations.
I don't know. But he shouldn't be on the court. Like, I'm watching. He doesn't move like Joel Embiid. Like, he shouldn't be out there. They're playing for nothing. They're playing to potentially make the play-in and lose to Cleveland or Boston. Like, there's no benefit for them being here. So
he's going to average like 35 a game.
Give him surgery, give him time off, come back next season, see what happens. But this year it's over. Paul George, try and trade him, please. Try and trade him. I beg. NP13 said these sound effects are crazy. That was when you guys were just binking the whole time. War V Room said a drawback with versatility is you can get baited into doing what the defense is willing to give you, which leads to less advantages for teammates. I agree. If you can do so many things, I think you fall into the trap of doing certain things because you can and not doing what you're best at. Like, it's very rare you're going to make Giannis settle for jump shots because he knows what he's best at is getting to the rim. Whereas if you can make jump shots at a solid clip, teams can force you into shooting jumpers because you feel like they're good shots. And then by the end of the series, it's, I was very inefficient, but you felt like you had all good shots. So I do think that's a possible downside to being as versatile as some people. Realist123 said, they say the biggest fleece this season is Luka traded for AD. I disagree. Is Joel Embiid stealing a $200 million contract extension till 2029? PG trade is a close second. Philly is cooked. Lakers in 6. Yeah, the future's not bright in Philly, if I'm being honest. And Joel is going to go down as one of the biggest what-ifs in NBA history. I'm sorry. Like, a player this talented, he just can't play. It's tough. It's very tough. It's unfortunate, but it's tough. Rod said, Ox, I'm asking one more time, take Kevin Huerter back.
Nope.
The Bulls are trying to get flagged, man. Kevin Huerter can help out. Gondek V2. Shaq is the only player in history where no matter what team and or era, he's the number one option. No question. I don't care who's on the team. I agree, but that's just me. I agree. Whoever's on the team with Shaq, I'm giving the ball to Shaq. I'm going to tell you. So, D-Roy became a member. Shout out to D-Roy. Zay Rich became a member. Shout out to Zay Rich. And Mo said, Harden at this age is still great. Yes, he is. I agree. Very, very good. Avery B. Hypothetical. You need a player to drop 40 points for your life, and you can tell them beforehand that that's the goal. Give me MJ first, then Bron second. These are my top 2 choices and my top 2 scorers of all time. Who's your number one choice? You need 40, but they know you need 40. So who's your number one choice?
Jordan.
John.
I'm gonna go KD.
So I
go KD.
For 40 in one game?
Yes.
Who has the most 40 points ever?
Will
Chamberlain.
Will or Jordan. That's one of them.
I mean, I probably would just take Prime Harden, to be honest with you. If I just had to say, give me 40.
I'll probably go with James Harden. But
I don't know.
One deck B2 and Paolo would go crazy in ones. No, you saying?
I don't know. I would really trust somebody who doesn't lean on threes as much, because it's like that could be a cold night, and now there's a, you know what I'm saying, there's something to my head.
Can
I
Hardy
mean,
get 20,
I've watched James Harden have 40, going 2 for like 16 from 3, making 24 free throws.
18
like,
free throws?
He has the ball so much that I think 40 is easier for him than someone who plays more off the ball, which is why I would go with James Harden.
Yeah.
He just controls the whole game. NP13 said they were a bad offensive team because AI was so trash on defense that they needed to construct such a one-sided team that they couldn't get any offensive players in that system, otherwise they'd lose.
I feel like they could have found a better option than Tyrone Hill, but you know,
Tyronn Hill's a floor spacer. So
Just so you know, Aaron McKee was the one who outscored Iverson in that game 7. Iverson was awful in game 7 against Toronto. It was Aaron McKee who outscored him in that game.
Iverson had like 20 assists. They were just blitzing him the whole time. So he made the right reads. And that game 7 against the Bucks, he was amazing. So I wouldn't say he was awful. I would just say Toronto said anyone.
Mars, I think he was like
anybody but Iverson. Like,
I think he was like 5 for 21 that game, something like that.
That's an Allen Iverson game. Like, that shit just happens. But yeah, I think let me look at the box score real quick. Let's box score watch. Game 7 against
something
Toronto.
like that.
Game 7 against Toronto, he was 8 for 27.
Yeah.
He had 21 points, 16 assists. So taking 27 shots when they were defending him like that is crazy. But and then Aaron McKee in that game had 22 points, 8 for 16. So they both made the same amount of shots. But anyway, Penn said, did you guys see Scotty Barnes murder the Sixers? Not robotic, looked like 15, 16 Kawhi.
I think he went 20. I think he went 33 and 10 yesterday. Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, good for him. Antoine said, I saw FC be so back. We the better twin, Mars. I feel like we're going to get to a point where we just stop comparing the twins to each other and just realize that they're still some of the best players in the league, period. And we don't need to be like, who's better between the men and the star, and realize they're just better than a lot of people. You don't
And
need
good
to
in
just
their own
compare
way,
them to each
sure.
I still obviously think Amen is better because of the offensive gap. But Asar is amazing. So, yeah. Gondek V2 said Kobe was the smoothest. 09, Kobe in particular. I don't know. I wouldn't call Kobe the smoothest, but he was quite smooth. Lowe's left butt cheek. You guys talked about Scotty Barnes for 2 hours last time on Playback. On behalf of the chat, please never do that again. I don't think Penn will be here tonight, so I think you're safe. Skip Payless said James Harden extremely smooth. RK next door, Swiper. How we feel about Patty and this Super Bowl? So Patrick,
He's still gonna be the GOAT. Just bad Super Bowl, one of the worst ever for a quarterback.
What does he have to do to become the GOAT?
Just keep doing. He's doing. He has 5 Super Bowl appearances, 2 MVPs, three Super Bowl MVPs in 7 years. So if he does that again for another 7 years, I mean, he's pretty clear of everybody ever.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were trying to like push him out of this GOAT conversation way too early. Patrick Mahomes has still had probably the best first 7 years for any quarterback in NFL history, you know. So you continue this, he's going to continue to have one of the best coaches of all time and one of the best defensive coordinators of all time. And Patrick Mahomes raises the floor of any offense he is on in the postseason that we have almost never seen before. Like in the playoffs, he's a sniper. He's efficient. He doesn't necessarily turn over the ball as much. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be fantastic over the next 10 to 15 seasons. He's gonna finish his career as the greatest of all time, in my opinion. Like
the reason why they pushing him out, and I know we got to move on. The reason why they're pushing him out of it because they're predicating it solely on Super Bowls. That's it.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
it.
he's
So,
gonna have the numbers on the resume.
Yeah.
Fent Jones says chill do mostly yell at the chat. Well,
And playback, not in here as much
looking
anymore.
forward to it again tonight. And then he said Melo and Pierce had that fat forward bully game. Looking putting Melo and Pierce in the same category. Nice. Styles Black said there are still people today that think the Spurs and the Rockets would have beaten the Golden State Warriors with KD if they were healthy. So this competition stuff,
Latest swiper.
See y'all tomorrow.
doesn't fly for me. Yeah, I agree. I don't think people can say, oh, well, this team would have beat the Warriors and this team would have beat the Warriors and then tell me that the Warriors were going to beat everyone. Like, you can't say both things. That doesn't make sense. Fent asked, John D, can you buy beer?
Yeah, I can buy a beer comfortably.
There you go. But as you were saying, you want to say something?
I still, throughout that run, I still didn't believe anybody could really beat the Warriors. I thought the Rockets probably had a better chance than some of the teams we've seen in the recent years. But if I would have had to put money on it and I had to make a decision, it would have been the Warriors. Like I would have been comfortable picking the Warriors to win every year they had that team.
I think the Rockets should have won, but anyway. But yeah, I'm not saying I would have bet on them because the Warriors are the Warriors, but I would have been comfortable picking the Rockets. Warvy Room said, you guys blame Bron for his moves, then retroactively retroactively try to pretend like you never blamed him when you're referencing other players. You guys defo blamed Bron. I don't know who he's talking to, but yeah.
I don't know either.
You guys definitely blame Bron, man. Lock in. Realist123 said, chill. Next time, just quickly say, oh, I'm tripping. No, he's not. When you say something crazy like that. I know you don't believe that, respectfully. Well, he changed his mind. He said Bill Russell's worse than Hakeem offensively. So it happens. We still got a clip though, so here's what it is.
Can't take
Teddy
it back.
Hart said Mars. Prime CP3 was arguably better than Magic on. No, the hell he wasn't. Better than Magic on offense. Better score on comparable playmaker. Just no. And blows him out the water defensively. But no one said
No, he
CP3 is better than because he wasn't arguably better than Magic on offense. So
No, he wasn't. No, he
but
was.
he does blow him out the water defensively though. But
Yeah,
that's the
he
reason.
was. I'll give you that. Yes, but no, he wasn't.
Yeah, he just wasn't.
Still think CP3 is disrespected offensively, but he's not better than Magic.
I agree, but he's not Magic Johnson. Billowal K said, did Kawhi have the biggest improvement leap ever?
Between him and Tracy McGrady, I don't think that there's. I mean, don't forget Tracy McGrady went from 15 a game to almost leading the league in scoring. Kawhi Leonard, I mean, I didn't know he was that good as a scorer. I did not know that.
Off the top of my head, I think, yeah, probably Kawhi, but there's probably some people I'm forgetting. DSG Piccolo says, Scoot injured, so Strother's replacing him in the Rising Stars game. I think would have been Scoot's fourth time, but Tamani's playing, so we up. Yeah, Scoot was playing for the G League Ignite in the Rising Stars game, then played as last year as a rookie. If he played again this year, 4 times, that's got to be a record. Like,
Right.
first in the Rising Stars game. How can you be a Rising Star for 4 years? And then 11 Winters with the final super chat says, so Mars, do you still think Jaren Jackson is better than Ja? Yes. Anyway, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. PC on playback tonight, Hawks, Knicks. John D, pull up to the playback, request to join the stage. We'll let you up. No, ain't no one gonna
I
stop
bet.
that. And then PC weekend this weekend. We'll see you guys when we see you. Merry Christmas. Thank you guys for watching. And goodbye.
Later.
Peace.